I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinandsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vinand Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
Sin&Glory.
Sin&Glory.
Alliance tonight.
A rebooted alliance, dear listener. This should be interesting.
Sin&Glory is here to rock the house. For those who don't know, we're an alliance with genres such as alternative, classic rock, hard rock, grunge, goth, industrial, heavy metal, metalcore, progressive metal, and of course, punk music. Like all of the alliances, we help pick out songs for Vin and Sori to react to. This is the winner of our 90s rock, alternative, and metal poll. This song was nominated by Robert Conn. It's a song by Body Count called There Goes the Neighborhood.
There Goes the Neighborhood by a friendly band called Body Count. Happy Valentine's Day, you beautiful people. The moment has arrived.
Well, that's technically tomorrow, but sure.
Sure. The moment has arrived. I think, so let's go. Body Count, There Goes the Neighborhood. Let's do it. Here we go.
There goes the neighborhood.
You got Ice-T in this guy. Ice-T is a rapper. He's like a West Coast rapper. Would you please stop moving, Lieutenant?
Here come them fucking niggas with the fancy cars. Who gave them fucking niggas those rock guitars? Who let them in the club? Did you?
All right, hold on.
What
Once
even
again,
got touched?
you move this way and you hit the camera thing. Hold on, guys. Technical difficulties. What a surprise.
Salem was editing. She's like, it's funny. Every single video, I have to cut out audio issues.
Yeah.
So should I shut this off and turn it back on?
Stand by, guys.
The camera.
All right, guys. That was just a preview to see if you guys were paying attention. All right, here we go. Body Count. Actually, I'm gonna need the lyrics for this one because this guy's a rapper. So.
Oh no, there's gonna be a lot of words then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
we're gonna need the lyrics. It's gonna be an issue there. So, all right, there we go. Now we got the lyrics. And we will start this again. Okay, this is Body Count. I'm pretty sure Ice-T is on this, is the lead singer of this band. So I'm pretty sure. Let's reboot this again. Body Count. There goes the neighborhood. Let's go.
There goes the neighborhood. Here come them fucking niggas with the fancy cars. Who gave them fucking niggas those rock guitars? Who let them in the club? Did you make them pay? Who let them on the stage? Who's let them play? Don't they know rock just for whites? Don't they know the rules? Those niggas are too hardcore. This shit ain't cool. Those blacks want everything in the fucking world.
True.
That nigga played so good. He took my motherfucking girl. There goes the neighborhood.
Also true. I took the girl, man.
There goes the neighborhood. There goes the neighborhood.
Oh my god.
There goes the neighborhood. There goes the neighborhood.
Shit, man. You hear this with Slayer.
Was that his girl?
That's the girl that he's
The
singing.
smile with the camera?
We're here. We ain't going nowhere. We're moving right next door to you. Body count, motherfucker.
Talk that shit, boy.
And if those of you that don't like it can suck my motherfucking dick.
Holy shit.
hardcore. This shit ain't cool. Oh, black won everything in the fucking world. That nigga played so good. He took my motherfucking girl. There goes the neighborhood. There goes the neighborhood.
Yeah. Hopefully
Wow.
this video doesn't get blocked.
There goes the neighborhood.
There goes the neighborhood. Yeah, he came out like swinging.
Yeah.
He came out swinging.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and some people like, oh, you know, the metal community, like, we've always been embracing people. We've never been, I'm not really feeling this because the metal community embraces everybody. No, we don't. What are you talking about? There's entire genres of fucking Nazi shit in metal. Like, metal people are just like every people. There's racist bastards in the hip hop community. You got people saying that Eminem's not a top 10 rapper.
Why would they say that?
Clearly only because
Is it
he's
because
white.
he's white?
Clearly, Eminem's a top.
I mean, I think he's good.
Eminem is a top 3 lyricist.
I will say I like his more recent stuff.
He's a top 3 lyricist. As an artist or whatever, no, obviously. But lyrically, I'm talking about like lyrics.
Yeah.
If you don't have Eminem in your top 3,
what are you saying? His style is not top 10, but that his lyrics
style,
are.
his style hasn't
but
been
his
able
rhyme
to,
scheme.
it hasn't been able to go with the times. Like Eminem.
Yeah,
put
no,
the
he's
song
still
in- He's still pretty much stuck in like 10, 15 years ago. Like
Yeah.
that, his, you know, and that's fun. It doesn't, you know, some people like Jay is like evergreen. Like you just have to give Jay like the number 1 just because of his longevity and
I was
things
gonna
like
say,
that.
well, he's outlasted a lot of people too.
But you know, somebody recently published a top 10, and obviously I disagree. Put Eminem over Biggie, ridiculous. But my point is, the metal community is full of people just like every other community. Of course, there's racists in the metal community. It's not even a, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. But this is.
But the thing is like, I guess they were at some punk rock show, and here I'll just post the thing for the background thing in it. It says, I just took it off the whole entire thingy. I just had the thing up there, then I got rid of it.
So
okay.
Body Count. Are these?
That's Ice. That's Ice-T's band apparently.
Okay.
Okay, so, the song talks about Ice-T and the other members of the original Body Count lineup, who were all African American, had racist abuse directed at them by Caucasian metalheads at gigs that they played at. This was because heavy metal was considered a white subgenre, and some Caucasian listeners didn't take kindly to black metal performers, believing them to be stealing what they believed was their genre. Ice embodies a Caucasian metalhead who dislikes Body Count because they were African American metal performers, as he believes metal music to be white, playing on the jealousy many Caucasians possess against African Americans.
Whoa, he said
that
it.
one of them will steal his romantic partner. No fucking comment. Body Count faced a lot of racism in their formal years, yada, 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 yada. So, I mean, of course they experienced that, but the song was like a big, I don't give a fuck how.
Oh, yeah.
How you people feel.
Well, yeah, it was. He flipped
And
it
hell
on.
yeah, I'm gonna take everything in the world and I'm gonna take your girl from you. Hell yes. Yes, we're coming for that shit.
And the way he sings "There Goes the Neighborhood," it wasn't like it was a tragedy. It was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he was trolling him too.
Yeah, Mojo, it doesn't mean that every metalhead is a racist because they ran into racism, bro. It just means that was his experience. That was their experience as a band. They experienced that. You weren't there. You can't invalidate how they feel.
I mean, we've gone to a number of metal shows together, and there was one specific show that was like, I was pretty uncomfortable at that show. I don't know if you remember which one it was, but we probably wouldn't even announce it anyway. But yeah, like when we were in there, like the way that people were looking, there's like a way that people look at you that you're like, oh, that's this or that's that. But like the racist thing that's a really different one to experience when you haven't, like, I didn't grow up in an environment where I even thought that racism was still a thing. Like I thought that some people, like that there was some weird people that didn't like black people, but not that it was still a thing. And I certainly didn't think that people were still getting killed because of it. And so it was surprising. Like the first time, you and I had been friends for a while. And we had to help somebody with moving some stuff. And so him and I were friends. I had taken the pickup truck and we had to stop and gas up. And so we get out to gas up the van, the truck, and I'm like, murder somebody. I was like, what is that? I didn't know what was going on. So he gets out, but this is the weird thing that they always do is they just stand there making angry faces and eyes and don't say or do anything. Like just stare and make anyway. So like that was going, and then I was like, like 3 different guys got out while we were gassing up the truck, and they all were having the same weird reaction. And then I looked at Vinny; he wasn't making any like necessarily any like sort of reaction, so I didn't even know if he had picked up on it. So then when we left, I said something to you, and you were like, "Yeah, that's that." Blah blah blah. I was like, "What?" And then of course that was just
some recessive genes.
That was just, I mean, we were friends at the time. Now we're married, so I'm obviously more conscious of it. Like, if we go to an event and people are acting a certain way, I'm obviously more offended by it.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's both directions, too. Because don't they know rock's just for whites? Don't they know the rules? Like, I went through that at my black school. When I became a corn kid.
Oh, yeah.
I had the nail polish and all black and the backpack and the shirts and shit. Or people were here listening to me, like hearing "Got the Life" in the locker room and all that. Like, that was, you're black. What's wrong with you? Blah 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 blah. And so it's not something that is exclusively something a white person would say. I'm sure that Ice-T got it just as bad from the black community as well, because like, you're supposed to be a rapper. What are you doing with this rock shit? I mean, there was a lot of real ignorant shit at the time. Like when I was. When I'm like, why does it matter to you what kind of music I listen to? Why do you care about how I dress? Like, I'll still fuck you up. Like, you catch these hands with this nail polish, my nigga. Like, I don't give a fuck. But like, so most of the racial issues that I ran into for metal came because I was a black dude in the ghetto, but completely like 100,000% like, this is where I'm at. This is who I am. Like, this is where I'm at. And, people didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? And they had things to say about it. So I see the validity of what he's saying on both sides. Like, I can imagine him getting that energy on both sides. Obviously, the whole, these niggers want the whole world, blah, blah, blah. Anytime there's any sort of progress for us, like, there's always that, like, sort of boomer generation, like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like that comes into my head, like that sort of mentality that I know people have. And like, we're at some point we're gonna be moving and we're gonna go into a new neighborhood, and like I'm like, we're gonna be those new people in a neighborhood. I've never been like necessarily a new person in a neighborhood, because the only place that I moved to wasn't a neighborhood over there. It was like a fast road. Like, you didn't really have a neighborhood. So like, what's that like to have a neighborhood? And like, does it take time? Like, are there people that have like certain energies and racist, like energies toward you? And does that kind of like go away? Or do people like secretly have the side eye with you? Or like, remember how you said about those people, you guys got stuck in a ditch and they came, they like pulled you out of the ditch, but didn't say another word? They did. They didn't speak to us our entire time that we lived a good year around those people. Never said one word to us. Yeah. But then we got stuck in a ditch and, Confederate flags, all types of shit. Didn't say a word. Just put the stuff together, loaded the thing, got us out of the ditch. My mom tried to pay them. They wouldn't take any money. Just went straight back home. Never spoke to them again. That like, people are very complex, man. It's not as simple as, oh, they're racist, so they're bad. It's like, to me, it's like, they're racist and they're human. Yeah. Like, that's just human nature. It is. Yeah, and it probably, I think I agree that it is human to have those, but I don't know, it's just, when it's your own family, and like, I know that it's obviously your own family too, but you've known of this struggle and you've had time to like work through it and say like, oh, people over 50 are gonna have certain mindsets. You gotta kind of just gotta let it go. Like, I feel like that you're pretty balanced with it, but at the same time, you're also like a trolling like this guy sometimes. Oh yeah, I loved it. I loved the troll. I mean, I feel like you enjoyed the song immensely. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it immensely because like, that was the kind of attitude, like, I'd be in board meetings and shit, like, I'd be running shop or whatever, and I was like mid-20s at the time, looked pretty young, and there was a lot of like, what is this fucking person doing here? And I knew it, and I used to love that shit, because I'm like, the minute I open my mouth, these motherfuckers are gonna understand. Like, but So there's always that thing where like you have to constantly prove yourself and validate why you're there, you know, and there's, you know, like I remember the first time I got promoted, they're like, oh, that's great for the affirmative action.
That's literally what I was thinking in my head. I was like, affirmative it, and then they're here, you're talking, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, so there's always like, hey, what are you doing? You don't really belong here. You didn't really earn this place. You're a and obviously, like if you look at a situation like Kamala Harris, it's obvious why she was put there. So it's not like they can't like point out cultural examples where it's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? So it's a complex issue. But what I love, those Black Swan everything, they want the fucking world. That's a really interesting line because like all they're doing is playing music that our ancestors created. Like everybody knows metal and rock is based on scales and all the rest of it that we essentially perfected. So it's like, it's our music. It's just like the whole Elvis phenomena, or to some degree, like, you know, Eminem. You know, all these white people say, oh, Eminem's better than Biggie. Like, this is our shit. And now you're saying that it's your, like, this shit is insane.
But this has been going on for quite some time.
But when I was in New York, nobody told anybody, yo, Elvis was stealing black music, blah, 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 blah. No, we were ignorant. They literally thought this is music for white people. I thought metal was music for white people. And I said, I don't give a fuck. I really like this song, so I don't care who it's for. But like,
I thought that hip hop and like rap was for black people.
Right.
But I enjoyed it, so I listened to it anyway.
Right, and then I realized that the people that are buying the most rap records are in the suburbs. It's the suburban white kids. So when I came up to Maine, I just came from New York City, came from all that shit, and I had one more year to do in school, so we did it up here. And I remember, like, you know, these kids started acting all tough, and I was like, what the hell is going on here? I'm like, you guys got trees and rivers and shit. Nobody's like patting you down when you get into school. I was like, what are you? Because he was throwing all types of gang signs, all type of shit at me. And you know, at this point, I was like 6 months away from getting admitted into the psych ward.
Oh no! Okay.
Like I was not in a good space at all.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh
so
my
I'm
gosh.
like, what the? You a what? And he's like, nah. I was like, and
did you fight him? Did you hit him?
My friend actually made friends with a skinhead dude. Shout out to Mike. You met him one time. He's skinhead. It's really good. He's a good guy though. He honestly, he just doesn't like black people. But me and him were like best friends. So we'd sit down at lunch, and me and the skinhead would hang out or whatever. And he's like, well, those are the kids that were fucking with you. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I don't know. Like, he's like, they're just a bunch of wiggers. I don't know what a wigger is.
Oh my god, I forgot about that word.
Yeah, he's like, he's just a bunch of wiggers. Blah blah blah. I'm like, Mike, you know that's a fucking offensive. He's like, yeah, but he's not like you. You know, they listen to all your nigger music, all type of shit.
Wait, that was an offensive word?
What? Wigger? Well, yeah, because you're saying white nigger, basically. I mean, obviously.
Oh, I never realized that.
That's what
Honest
a wigger
to God,
is.
I really, any person that they ever said was a wigger, they always said it was because of the jeans.
Nah,
They always wore the falling off, like.
Yeah, because they were trying to be like street
I didn't
dudes.
know that. Oh my God, I said that a couple times. Because I
to
didn't know that was, that's white nigger. Oh, no.
Yeah, so, but it was weird. Like, the dude was like a legit skinhead. He had the white shoelaces, all types of shit. But me and him were like thick as thieves. Like, he wouldn't let it.
I feel like that shows what's actually going on with like racism, because a lot of times people will say that, like, when they get they're like, well, one-on-one, you know what I mean? Like, that just means that you got to know people and you recognize that they were actually human beings like you. Like, it's not like, but people want to make all these differentiations between people and be like, oh, they're that. We're all human beings. Like, we've always been human beings. And then we created this thing where we were like, well, we'll separate you over there from your color and you over there for your language. And we're going to separate everybody like that. But it wasn't like that from the beginning. We were all one people.
I remember we got jammed up. With the time the dude pulled a weapon on me, and that we were in Section 5 in Co-op City. We were by ourselves. And then a couple people from our crew were like on this side, you know, having meetings with girls. So me and Reeve came to pick up, and dudes like caught us dudes caught us. I was on the bench. I was like dead to rights. I'm sitting there like, fuck, man. I can't.
You're on the train or you're in the club?
I was at the bench in Section 5, and these.
That's
dudes,
at the train station, right?
No. Section 5 is their area in Co-op City.
So you're on a bench like on the side of the road?
No, I'm on a bench in their hood, in their area, and because my friends were going to see a girl, and we were basically like, you can't go by yourself.
Oh my God.
So I'm sitting on the bench and I'm like, fuck, man. And we had nothing. I had nothing on me. Nothing. I had my, you know, whatever.
So you have your hands in your pockets.
I didn't have my hands in the pockets at that point because I had nothing to get. So
Well.
I was so anyway, he's like, see, this is the so he's got this weapon on. Sharif is sitting there and he's like, this is the problem. I'm like, okay, here we go. You got black people trying to be white.
Wait,
and
what
you
was
got
this guy?
white
What was this
people
guy?
trying to be. It was like that. He was a Section 5 dude.
I don't know what that means. Is he white? Is he black?
No,
is he
he's
Asian?
no, he
What
was
is
a
he?
street dude. He was in Co-op Cities.
So he's a black guy.
The Bronx, yeah.
Okay.
And so they're talking all this shit, and of course I'm in my nail polish, my corn shirt. Sharif is in his corn shirt, and he's like, "This is the problem." He's like, "You got black people trying to be white, and now you got white people trying to be black." That Eminem
Or
nigga.
they
he
just
said.
like corn.
I was like, "You ignorant motherfucker!" I was like, "If I survive this fucking encounter, bro,
Oh my
I swear
gosh.
to God."
So what happened?
Obviously, I survived the encounter.
Yeah, no, I know, but what made him stop talking and walk away?
Reef just said, "Hey, do what you're gonna do, bro. We ain't running. We right here." Of course, there's no way for us to go. If we would have known they were coming, we absolutely would have ran. They crept up on us.
How many was there?
It was about 3 or 4. But one of them had a
I wonder why they decided to just walk away.
pulled a weapon up. Well, we were looking at him dead. I didn't feel a thing. I was just sitting there looking at dude. I was going through I was like, yo, I got nothing. But my point is like. The race shit, like, it's both ways. It's not just white people saying, "Oh, metal is ours."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we were saying that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "Yo, I'm about to listen to white people music, blah blah blah." Like it wasn't until really Revo, when he went into the history, when he went all the way back to the 50s, and you saw the obvious progression
Yeah.
and the and how things were going. And then the other thing about Revo is like you hear about the politics of the record label and like why certain bands were promoted and others weren't and what was going on society wise. So now I'm a lot more informed about not just, oh, black people played guitar, but like the history of it and how this worked and what our heritage, our shared heritage is as metalheads.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And to me,
Yeah.
that's a beautiful thing because it's combining, white music and black music and creating something like, I don't believe the metal genre, there will ever be another genre that brings to the table what metal brings to the table. I don't think you're ever going to be able to replicate that. There's electronica, there's all this shit, and the electronics can do way more than what a normal person could do, but there's just something about that fucking ring out, that feeling when the dudes hit the stage, like there's nothing like it, and it's something that both of our communities contributed heavily to.
Yeah.
And it's something that now belongs to us. Like metal, like Mojo was saying, like metalheads are disaffected, disenfranchised people. And we had the good fortune, obviously we would say God's grace, of us finding each other out in the wilderness. And then we're around this music that we're devoted to. And you become devoted to each other as the metal
Right.
community. So this song is not a diss at all at the metal community or even the white metal community, because the fact of the matter is body count is accepted in I've never heard anybody say, "Oh, fuck body count, blah 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 blah." Of course you're gonna have, I mean, to this day we have people that are put racist comments because me and you are interracial or whatever. But for the most part, body count in my view is a very highly respected band across the board. And so everybody respects what they did. So they were able to overcome that shit. And that's the thing about, like, racism or whatever. It's like, on the one hand, you have people that want to pretend like it's just not there. We've moved on. We got a black president. And the other hand, you got people that make it sound like because you run into racism, you can't do anything. And to me, that's like a cop-out. Like, they could have said, "Oh, we're black. I'm a rapper. They said mean things to me at this concert. So I'm just going to, like, put it all away and say I'm putting it away because America's so racist that I can't win.
Yeah.
The chips are stacked." Bullshit. Fucking man up. Fucking play your instrument and fucking do what you believe, man. Stop
Well, that's
worrying
what they
about what
did.
people say. And that's what they did.
Yeah.
Like, that's the attitude. And the thing is, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't necessarily have to like black people to respect that energy. I think what people have a
Yeah.
problem with is, like, the minute you run into a little bit of a roadblock, you got a whole segment of black dudes that are like, "Oh, that's I saw it all the time at work." People talk all types of crazy shit about me, especially when I first got hired. And people are like, "I don't know how you do it, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, man, I don't give a fuck about these people. I got a fucking kid to feed. Fuck these people. Care about that. Like, so there is a sense in which, like, sack the fuck up, man. Be a man and fucking stand up to piss and do what you need to do. Oh my God. Like, honestly, like, the shit is
toxic. I'm just kidding.
The shit is weak to me, man.
Yeah.
It's weak to me.
I
Like,
hear you.
I like this attitude, like, because it acknowledges that racism is there, but it's also saying everybody in the metal community and every band has dealt with some sort of ism. Jonathan dealt with homophobia and all that, and he turned it into Korn. Like, none of the people that we admired had a great time coming up. Yeah. And most of the time, their little culture, we were listening to that Opeth thing where the guy, like, had to leave his fucking town because he was no longer a Christian. And then when he came back, like, everybody's dealing with, but the spirit of metal is to say, man, I don't give a fuck. Like,
yeah, it's crazy because music is literally vibrations, and that's what's happening. Our eardrums are hearing vibrations, and we're experiencing those, and that makes us feel happy or angry or whatever. So it's kind of interesting that people have figured out to create vibrations that end up bringing us together.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's crazy because a lot of people on the outside, like, if you're not inside of our community, like, people are, oh, that's bad. Like, oh my God, he's in darkness, imprisoning. Oh, that's bad. Yeah. And especially like new age people, oh, that's a bad vibration. Oh yeah. It's like, no, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when I get in my car after that show, there's that big like, you're drenched with sweat and you have other people's DNA all over you and shit.
Gross.
We went to that Static X show because we landed an interview with one of the lead guys and Wayne Static had died. Yeah. And so all these songs were coming on, and
is that where the guy came out looking like him?
Yeah, and then like that little crowd we're in, we're all moshing, pushing each other. It was a very communal aspect because we knew like this dude was representing Wayne Static, who had, who couldn't be there, and all these people it was crazy because they're like, we got kids now, the kids are at home, and they're like, we first started listening to Static X when we were kids. Yeah. Now we got kids, and we're
now
all
we had to get a sitter to come here. They said
right, but then Wayne's not there, so it was like. But we didn't know each other, but everybody like we were probably the closest to them as far as like, because we were outside the gate, but we were talking to them after every song and things like that. Like we were taking pictures. It was like immediately we were all best friends with each other. Like only metal can do that. Like period. So anyway, love the song. Love the song. Really really good song. Very strong opening. I love that Revo always does like these controversial...
Well, no, this one wasn't Revo though.
Oh, okay.
No, this one...
He always does like controversial shit. I'm like, Revo...
Yeah, I know. No. This is... Look, this is from... I don't want to missay his name. Where was it? Right there. Robert Conn. That was a ballsy move.
I think Robert Conn is probably a nickname for Revo.
Could be.
There's Revo, Robert. 9.4, dear listener.
9.6 for me.
All right, guys, we are just literally at the foothills of this amazing situation.
Dio is up next.
You guys know how I feel about the homie. We will check you on the other side. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone. All right, guys. We shall return. Commercial break. I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
Rubbish. That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft.
What?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vinand Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them, dear listener, to buy our merch. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. This is a solo review by your boy Vinny.
No.
Sori has quit the channel. Oh. She's back.
I returned.
She has returned.
Yes, I'm also a wife cleaning laundry.
All right. Laundering laundry.
How boring. All right, I'm back to the fun stuff. Music.
Dio,
Yes.
So,
Sunset Superman.
Rest in peace to Michelle's dad. Very, very sorry to hear that, Michelle. We heard about that.
Yeah, we did.
Last night.
Yep,
If you are a praying person, pray for Michelle because she needs it.
for sure.
But I'm glad we can be. Peter Samuelson in the house.
Hey, how are you?
Seven Dustin in the house. Sori's retirement was shorter than Hove's and Brady's. Speaking of retirement, you, dear listener, might want to retire the baby formula that you're currently using. Why? Why would you retire your baby formula? The reason is because United States baby formula has not really significantly been updated since the 1980s. Yes, before we were born. We had a kid. We have a kid. We've had multiple kids who do not do well with American formula. A lot of gastrointestinal issues, those types of digestion issues. And so we went elsewhere and we found a formula company that actually our kid could actually keep it down.
It's literally the best stuff. When we actually looked into it, all we had was samples, and I was so pissed that we had to then put him on soy because the soy was so disgusting. And I'm like, I wish that we had more than just the samples because I wanted to give it to Reza, actually. But now, since then, we've had another baby. Our business is in full swing, and now the product is available for everybody else, so it helps with the constipation, the stomach issues, and it's a really clean formula when you mix it. It's not like chunky and gross, and it's European high standards. It's unbelievable.
Solubility, mixability, and it is extremely affordable. So there you are, dear listener. Now, nobody cares about that anymore. We care about a man by the name, I believe, Ronnie James Dio.
Sunset Superman. Our alliance was on a hiatus for most of last year, and so to make up for lost time, we had a poll where the top 6 songs winning the poll would get reacted to. Like most polls, each member put forth 2 songs, and we all voted on which of those songs would be best to represent Sin&Glory.
Sin&Glory!
As Vin likes to call them. This song was nominated by Mad Maestro. It's sung by a certain singer. Thank you very much. I didn't know. I thought you said how to have a can.
Here you go, guys. This is what it looks like. Very professional.
Yes, very cute. This song was nominated by Matt. Can you say that word? Because Maestro?
Mad Maestro.
Mad Maestro. It's sung by a certain singer of the name Dio called Sunset Superman.
All right, guys, here we go. Sunset Superman.
Okay, listen, as far as superheroes goes, I always liked Superman the best out of all of them. I didn't care that he was cheesy and that the only thing was like kryptonite. That's the only flaw. Everything else he's going to be able to do.
Yeah, he was OP.
That's what everybody said.
Strong.
I like that. I wanted him OP.
Too strong.
I'm going to take
Speaking of OP, do you want to do some family fun night with the kids?
I do want to do.
Family Fortnite?
I do.
Okay, let me tell them.
But we have a business meeting though after too.
Oh, we have a business meeting after. That's right.
So we'll see. This is Red Bulls. This is Red Bulls. Thank you, Johan. Thank you, Johan.
Okay. No more interruptions, dear listener.
You want one?
Oh, yes.
I don't know if you should, but
the time has arrived. Here we go. Here we go. Ronnie James Dio.
Sunset Superman.
Sunset Superman.
I hope this is a fun song.
All right, let's do it.
Not sad. Please don't be sad.
It won't be sad. Is this the right one? Is that him?
No, it can't be. Is it? Oh, I don't know.
night tells 1,000 lies. And when you wake up in the morning, well, you're dreaming, screaming, trying to hide your burning heart before somebody cuts it all away. Sunset Superman.
That's hard as fuck.
Sunset Superman.
Let's go.
Sunset Superman.
Easy.
Somebody stop the game, and the dark will just get louder as it shouts away the light. A shadow without a name, but when he wakes up in the morning, he just wonders, was he a hero? Trying to hide his burning heart before somebody cuts it all away. Sunset Superman. Sunset Superman. Sunset Superman. Anybody care? Sunset Superman.
That beat is hard, y'all. What year is this? 87? The night has 1,000 eyes, but he moves in only places where the eyes can never be. The night has 1,000 lies, and when you wake up in the morning, well, you're dreaming, screaming, trying to hide your broken heart before somebody cuts it all away. Sunset Superman. Sunset Superman. Sunset Superman. Sunset Superman. Sunset Superman. Superman. Oh! Sunset Superman. Sunset Superman. Sunset Superman. Oh! Anybody care? Anybody care? Sunset Superman. 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 15 seconds.
Sunset Superman. Sunset Superman. Sunset Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When
Sunset
he's saying
Superman
Sunset
in
Superman,
this bitch.
when that guy is saying that in the background,
Yeah.
yeah, I think if we would have gotten rid of that and the way that Dio was doing that was like good, but then if you would have had in the background those like the house stuff that he was doing, I think that would have been crazy.
Dude, I say this every
He's
single
such a good vocalist.
every time we cover a Dio song, I'm always like, okay, my ultimate dream band.
Yeah, here it is.
It's
Tony Iommi,
It's Tony Iommi.
Dio,
Uh,
the fella from
Dimebag.
Dimebag Daryl.
And I gotta go Iron Maiden style and add a third guitarist, so my man Head from Korn. Say what you want. The man created an entire genre single-hand. I tell him that all the time. Like, my nigga, you created an entire genre single-hand. No, I didn't. Blah, blah, blah.
No,
we were in blah, blah. I'm like, shut up. He's like, how you gonna text me and tell me to shut up? I'm like, you're the greatest. He laughs at me. I love you, Brian. So that's 3. Those are my top 3 guitarists. Vocally, it's my man Dio, and nobody stands beside that dude, though. Nobody stands beside Dio.
This is a good album,
drummer,
too.
You know who my drummer was? The drummer was a dude from Rush. Remember we saw that drum solo?
Yeah, the long one.
Yeah, and he had like 6,000
cymbals everywhere. Yeah.
So that guy from Rush, don't know who he is. And then bass, I don't really care. You put anybody you want. Oh, actually, the dude from Diablo Viscaris.
I don't know who sent us that link.
The second bassist from Diablo Viscaris. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I love that dude. I love him.
Yep.
I was telling Zen, I was like, him and Benji, man, like, inspired like the last year of my guitar. The last year of my guitar playing has all just been
for real
influenced by Neo. But those are the bands, man. That's my top 5.
Okay, and as I thought, Sunset Superman. Usually stuff about Superman ends up being a little bit sad. I wasn't completely clear on what this song was about, but he said the night has 1,000 eyes, but he moves in only places where eyes can never be. And then he says the night tells 1,000 lies, and when you wake up in the morning, were you dreaming, screaming, trying to hide, or burning heart?
Tried to hide your burning heart before someone cuts it all away.
Yeah, well, I just... I'll tell you that later. Okay, go ahead. Carry on.
Yeah, I just think that he's probably talking about himself.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that too.
Because when me and Sharif...
Wait, himself as in the person that's moving through, or the 1,000 eyes?
He is the Sunset Superman.
Yes.
And, you know, me and Reef used to talk about it, like, because we would dream about being in a band. Like, you know, the best thing about being a band is, like, you wake up at 3 o'clock, right? And you get ready, eat some food or whatever, and then boom, man, you gotta get ready for the show. And that's when it starts, like the nightlife. And we used to think about that all the time. Like, that would be fucking sick, bro, to like wake up at 3 p.m. and then fucking no responsibility, and then you just strap up your guitar and fucking go crazy.
What does he play?
He was a singer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't sing.
Can he
shit,
still sing?
Oh yeah. He's a monster. He was into like R&B stuff.
Have you ever thought of putting him on?
He was into R&B and things
cool.
like before.
Yeah.
I don't know, because like I got that. You know how I am when we're making music. Like I got that Kanye energy. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This is you know what I'm saying? And he's. We'd probably fight.
Yeah. Well, I don't know though, because he'd probably be more on his shit. And so he'd be seeing the energy with, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to take me longer because I'm not, like, a natural-born singer. So where he is, he's probably going to catch his stuff a lot faster than I would.
Yeah, I might.
Anyway.
But, like, he becomes Superman at sunset. Because that's when they make their money. That's when they work, is nightfall. Especially if you're in a main stage band.
Yeah.
If you're a main stage band, you're going at nighttime. So...
Oh, you think this is about playing...
No, he is a sunset Superman.
Yes, yeah.
What's going on is... the consequence of being in that life. So for example, the night has 1,000 eyes, but he moves in only places where eyes can never be. The night tells 1,000 lies, and when you wake up in the morning, you're dreaming, screaming, trying to hide your burning heart before somebody cuts it all away. So I think this is all about him and him being a rock star and what a night is like for him. And why he's doing what he does at night. The night tells 1,000 lies, for example. Like one of those lies would be, "You're the greatest thing in the world." Blah 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 blah. You had a great night. You had all this drugs. You had all these women. You had all this alcohol.
But then
you had
that
all
way
this
that you
fun.
feel the next day.
But then you wake up. Were you dreaming? And then you wake up screaming. You're trying to hide your burning heart before somebody cuts it all away. It's like you get all these perks for being a rock star, but then you have to wake up at some point. And for a lot of people that have like depression and things like that, waking up is a motherfucker, man. It's a very difficult thing to like even get out of bed for a lot of people. So like it's a crazy cycle. Like, oh, I hate getting out of bed. Then you get out of bed, you work yourself up, and then you're on cloud 9 when you're playing. Then after that, there's the after party, there's the drugs, there's the women and all that, and like you forget how hard it was to wake up But then you got to go to sleep at some point and start a new day.
Yeah.
And so it looks to me like that's kind of what's going on. Like he's Superman after sunset, but then when he wakes up in the morning, it's not really like that.
That's crazy.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody start the game and the dark will just get louder as it shouts away the light. Right? So like they play loud music, you know.
Wow, yeah.
All
yeah,
that.
a shadow without a name, and when he wakes up in the morning, he just won't know. Was he a hero trying to hide his right.
Hide his burning heart before somebody
Same
cuts
thing,
it all
yeah.
away again. So it's
Well, what do you think that before somebody cuts it all away line is?
Say again.
What do you think the before someone cuts it all away line is?
Well, protecting your heart before somebody cuts it all away, because he's already a wounded person, and so the lifestyle is empty because you're around all these women or whatever. But he's not going to give his heart to anybody because he's
what is left of his broken heart. He doesn't want to be completely
he's not
cut
going
out.
to give to. He's not going to give to somebody. So even though the lifestyle is kind of empty, and it's kind of empty when I wake up in the morning, it's better alternative than giving one person my heart and then her, you know, stomping and crushing.
Yeah,
them.
I guess you could look at it from the other side, because I've only ever looked at it from like, oh, like here these groupies, they're going up and they're, you remember like that whole, well, I mean, let's not
Applejack in the house,
let's
gang
not
shit.
dig up old wounds, but there was somebody that was accused of like doing stuff with, you know, underage people, and I mean that's kind of typical for musicians,
There's a
like
lot
for
of
that to
them.
come
I
out
mean,
like that. Well, we
yeah.
had shot a video, people got upset about it, but you remember what I'm talking about now?
Yeah.
So, like, I guess I always, like, kind of look on the girl side of it, kind of feel bad for them. Because I'm like, oh, they got sucked up in the, you know, especially like that one girl, she's getting friggin' baloney thrown at her and all the craziness that sometimes ends up happening. But then, you know, there is the other side of it. So you have somebody that's traveling around doing music and they're always giving themselves, giving. And then, like, there are, I mean, I don't think that the majority of those girls that come around that are like, hey, I'll one night it. Like, I don't think that those girls are like, I would like to build forever with you. Like, I'd like to support your dream and travel around with you and stuff. Yeah. So I guess you could also feel bad for the artist to say that, you know, they are searching for something too when they're engaging in those things. And yeah, it might just be some raw sexuality, but it also might be that there's some loneliness inside that they're trying to dispense with in a metal sort of way, you know?
Yeah, the sex thing really, it's not what people think it is. Like, being able to cavort with a bunch of women is not, it's something that only people on the outside think is like the greatest thing ever. But if you're inside that kind of situation, it's really not like that. It's almost like, you know, the more chemicals you ingest, the more tolerance your body builds up to it. And so things that would get you in a certain space, you know, after a year of consistent whatever, it's not going to be the same thing. Mm. So it's a similar situation with you just get the sick feing after a while.
Well, I think
you become disgusted with yourself, with women in general. It's a dark place to be. But a lot of dudes, in their minds, they're like, oh,
yeah, well, yeah.
But it's really a horrible, empty cycle to be caught up in.
Yeah, but I think that when you have like whole religions that are like, when you die, you're gonna have innumerable virgins and wine. You know what I mean? Like, and so I think that kind of gives you the idea that okay, that's the epitome of like, you know, that would be the ultimate. Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily. I saw this depiction of somebody had posted like, oh, gluttony is never talked about, and it like, did you see this post? Like, it was almost like. It was difficult to look at because they were trying to make it like basically make gluttony look really evil.
Yeah.
But it did like kind of make my stomach upset to see like that level of consumption.
Yeah, anything that's done in excess is it's pretty disgusting.
I remember like when I was a kid, like the only time that I would end up overeating was on Thanksgiving. And like that feeling that you had on Thanksgiving where you were like so sick and you were like, yo, I'm not doing this tomorrow. Like that was like the kid version of me.
I'm never gonna do this again.
Yeah, but as an adult, like,
you know,
I think that
check stubs girl.
No.
Check stubs, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
She would do that all the time. I'm never doing this again.
That's right. Yeah. But then, yeah. I mean but that's what I mean. Like when you have something in excess, like the first few bites of something are good, but by 50, when you're on like you're just gorging yourself, it's not as enjoyable anymore. And you keep doing that, then it's like, what am I even doing? You know what I mean? And I think it's like that for anything that we can, consume in a way, or something that we can enjoy. Like anything that we, like my mom used to take us away from the park before we got like, like she wanted us upset when we were leaving the park. So then the next time she wanted to bring us to the park, we'd be like, yes.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that's like that for a lot of things. Like, you just take too much of it, then it's just too much. So I used to think it was kind of crazy what you were saying when you were like, it literally just becomes disgusting to, for people that have been with, like, lots of different people. And, I think I understand the concept now because I've heard a lot more people kind of, like, expressing that. It's a
sick feeling.
So this is the first time I think that I've ever like looked at the artist and been like, that might be kind of sad for them as well, like the kind of lonely, you know what I mean? Like that might be kind of lonely to just have people that are like, I'll be your one night jump off, you know what I mean? Like, So, and he says trying to hide your broken heart before somebody cuts it away. So he's in a rough spot. So, but I really appreciate when the artists kind of get transparent like that and put that out there. I think that's what's really sad about it, is that a lot of times when the artist puts it out there, like we've said this before, people are so busy trying to say whether or not they relate to it that they can't really hear, like, that's what Dio just said. Like he just made a whole song about how his heart is broken and how he feels in the morning, and like you said, that waking up depression feeling. And it's like, okay, like if I know he doesn't have only 100 followers, but if he had 100 followers, what percentage of those 100 people said, yo, and tried to do something for him?
Yeah. It's hard because on the one hand, like there is a place for that sort of empathy, but on the other hand, it's like, it's very difficult to empathize with somebody who you perceive has everything that they want.
Right, exactly. But once you realize that having everything is not, like, I don't think you have to have everything for you to realize that that's not everything. Right. But I think some people it has to be that way.
I agree with that. I love the song. I love the freaking guitars.
Yeah.
Really good.
And his vocals in it, man.
I was imagining covering this with Seven.
Yeah.
Especially when it goes, Sunset Superman. We could kind of like...
I'll bring the lemonades.
Yeah, we could kind of like,
Yep.
Choreograph.
Yeah.
Synchronize our moves, Seven.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be the most gangster fucking international operators ever with this shit. Okay. Then we'll have we will put Applejack in there. He can guess. He can like freestyle it. Sunset Superman in this. Bitch.
Yeah, you'll do better than that.
I'm Brims. Fuck them Crips. You know what I'm saying?
Sunset Superman.
Yes, it's very anthemic for sure. That's the other thing, man. We need those anthems where you just let the drum play. Dun, 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 yeah, and have a little interlude and then go back. We're bringing that shit back. Yeah. Oh, by the way, we did a little preview of our song. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on our YouTube channel now. It was just up on Patreon, but now it's been released to the masses. I think it was called Sneak Peek, but I'll let you know at the beginning of the next video what it's called, so you can check it out. In the meantime, I'm giving this one a 9.8.
Yes, Green Arrow caught 2 in a row.
Love
nice.
that voice.
All right,
Love that voice.
9.6. Also, shout out. I'll bring on the other end because this is the other thing we gotta front line that shit. Okay, guys, we're coming right back. We're in an Alliance stream. You guys know the deal. $1, starting $1. There's other things to get as well. The Alliance people actually ended up getting the preview first, right?
Yeah, they did. They had it for like a month before I released everybody else, something like that.
Okay. Perfect, guys. Okay, so we shall return. More coming up for you on the other side of the break. Who's next? Let me see here.
I'm looking for the sneak peek, so.
Stardust. Some dude named David Bowie. Bowie? I don't know if you guys have heard of him. David Bowie. Ziggeth Stardusticeth. We shall return. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone. I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinandsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vinand Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy merch.
We're back. We're back. All right, and a child shall lead them to buy our merch. Oh, I have the. I'm gonna post the link for you guys to be able to check out that little video if you're interested. And in the meantime,
Gotcha.
Vinny's on his way back.
About the bootstrap and the flower. Telling you, that's a fucking hit.
All right.
Cool step, Dad. I'm going for the votes. Yeah. I think that there's a vote for coolest stepdad of all time. I think she'd vote for me. All right, guys. I don't know if you've heard of this guy. There's this guy named David Bowie. He made some music. I don't know if you've heard of him, but here at Vinand Sori, we are always looking for underground artists, people that other people haven't heard before.
Yeah, so up next on our list is David Bowie.
David Bowie! And everybody who knows Soraya knows that this is a massive accomplishment in Vinand Sori history.
Yes and no, because if you were watching my eyes, I still wasn't convinced I said it right.
Aha! Aha!
All right, you guys, David Bowie. This is another song that won our top 6 free-for-all poll. It was nominated by a nobody named Revo. This song is 5 years as performed by David Bowie on the show Top of the Pops. This uploader added a message of global warming in the video itself, but that's not necessarily the message of the song or album. I wanted to find a video of this performance that wasn't from the official David Bowie site. Appreciate ya.
Yes, let's do it.
So this one is from Revo.
Ziggy Stardust First Climate Crisis, David Bowie.
5 years. But remember, he added the global warming thing, but he's saying he doesn't think that's what the song's about. But just so you don't get, led off in another direction. Post that.
Well, I may still end up talking about climate change.
You may agree with the poster.
Very subdued.
Pushing through the market square, so many mothers sighing. News had just come over. We had 5 years left crying. News guy wept and told us Earth was really dying. Cried so much his face was wet. Then I knew he was not lying. I heard telephones, opera house, favorite melodies. I saw boys, toys, electric irons and TVs. My brain hurt like a warehouse, it had no room to spare. I had to cram so many things to store everything in there. And all the fat, skinny people, and all the tall, short people, and all the nobody people, and all the somebody people. I never thought I'd need so many people.
Oh, wow.
Girl my age went off ahead, hit some tiny children. If the black hadn't have pulled her off, I think she would have killed them. A soldier with a broken arm fixed his stare to the wheels of a Cadillac. The cop knelt and kissed the feet of a priest, and the queer threw up the sight of that. I think I saw you in an ice cream parlor, drinking milkshakes cold and long, smiling and waving and looking so fine. Don't think you knew you were in the song. And it was cold and it rained, so I felt like an actor, and I thought of more, and I wanted to get back there. Your face, your race, the way that you talk, I kiss you, you're beautiful, I want you to walk. We got 5 years stuck on my 5 years. What a surprise, we got 5 years. My brain hurts a lot. 5 years, that's all we got. We got 5 years. What a surprise. 5 years stuck on mine. We got 5 years. My brain hurts a lot. 5 years, that's all we got. We got 5 years stuck on mine. 5 years, what a surprise. We've got 5 years. My brain hurts a lot. 5 years, that's all we got. We got 5 years. What a surprise. We got 5 years stuck on mine. We got 5 years. My brain hurts a lot. 5 years, that's all we got. 5 years. 5 years.
Yeah, that that last section kind of like dominates the kind of interpretation of the video, because you keep hearing we got 5 years, and you know that's kind of like the what do you call it? You know, the Al Gore stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like Al Gore was like, we're gonna be gone in 11th
yeah,
hour,
yeah.
it's over, we're all gonna die. Speaking of dying, birth symbolizes people not dying but living. This, dear listener, is called Fuji Beer Formula. We had some issues with the digestive systems of some of our kids. A lot of that has to do with the fact that American formula hasn't been significantly updated since before we were born, literally 1980, literally before we were born.
8 years after this song came out, that's when they did it.
8 years after this song came out is the last time baby formula was significantly updated in America.
Scary.
On top of the formula shortage crisis, it put us in a situation where we had a kid who was not doing well with regular American formula. We had to put him on soy. The soy was disgusting. It smelled horrible. He hated it.
well.
So he found this formula, gave it to him. I started twisting him up and down, waiting for him to throw up.
I'm
He
like,
never
Vin,
did.
everybody's gonna throw up after they've been spun around after eating like that, but he never did.
He loved it. He loved it.
He did.
So we decided, hell, we should give this to everybody, but we got to make it affordable for moms because European formula is pretty crazy. So there you go. Go to Amazon.com. Our website is being developed. If you just type Fuji in Amazon.com, you will find it there for yourself or somebody that you love. Send me an email, VinandSori@gmail.com. If you made a purchase, send me a read receipt, and you will get something very interesting. Having said that, the song is about... So here's the thing. Immediately now I'm like, okay, 5 years is about global warming, blah, blah, blah. But I remember Bowie had this, like, space character.
Okay.
That, like, spanned throughout... like a bunch of his records.
Right here, the rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. Is that on the same
I feel
thing?
like
Is that the album?
Ziggy Stardust. I feel like is a Revo. Help me here. Ziggy Stardust is a like an alter ego slash character of him.
Yeah, okay.
Like it's him, and so like a lot of his music has been like I think it's called the Space Odyssey something.
Okay,
but So I don't know if the 5 years is about like in the timeline of the story, and then the person who did the video decided, oh, we're gonna add some climate change yada yada to this, because a 5 years thing is a really. But I don't know that that's the original meaning of the song. I don't know that he was concerned about global warming that early. Okay, here we go. First song on the album, Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, kind of the introduction to the conceptual album. Okay, this is the opening song of the Ziggy Stardust narrative. Okay, so it's an alter ego for this concept. This is the opening track, right? Yeah. So I doubt very highly that he was worrying about climate change as early as 1972. Like,
well,
I
especially
think
if you're saying this is a concept album of something. I mean, Moonlit Daydream, Starman, Lady Stardust, like Star. Right. It does Ziggy Stardust. It sounds like it doesn't sound like it's here.
Right. Exactly. So I think Revo has more of the story, but this is actually the opening track for the Ziggy Stardust narrative character in the first place. So this is kind of like a historical song. Yeah. So I'm not saying that climate change is not important. All I'm saying is breaking down the lyrics is the number. Hey, Denny Lee in the house. Long time no see.
Hi.
I just want to break it down like as close to the intended meaning as possible.
Sure,
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay,
no,
so
of course it does.
Pushing through the market square, so many mothers sighing. News had just come over. We had 5 years left to cry in. So I guess there was some like announcement, maybe a meteor
Earth
or
is
something.
Really dying right there.
Meteor or something that's going to hit the Earth or something. News guy wept and told us Earth was really dying. Cried so much his face was wet. Then I knew he wasn't lying. I heard telephones, opera house, favorite melodies. I saw boys' toys, electric irons, and TVs. My brain hurt like a warehouse. It had no room to spare. I had to cram so many things to store everything in there. And all the fat, skinny people, and all the fat, skinny people.
And all the tall, short people, and all the nobody people,
and all the
somebody people.
I never thought I'd need so many people. Okay, so
that part like confused me. Like when he said the beginning part, it sounded like there's some tragedies coming to the world, which maybe is what shoots him into the stratosphere to do the Ziggy Stardust stuff. I don't know because I'm not familiar with any of the storyline really.
Right.
But it looks like something bad's happening. It's going to be ending. We're all gonna. Life as we know it is going to end in 5 years. But then when he says all the fat, skinny people, all the tall, short people, I never thought I'd need so many people. What is he saying? Like he wants all these? I don't understand what he's saying.
I think that's the need for human connection in the face of a disaster, like
that
a communal.
He doesn't want. Yeah.
A communal disaster.
Right.
Because it's going to happen to everybody. He says, I never thought I'd need so many people.
Yeah, exactly.
He needs people around him.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if it was like, okay, whatever's coming, he's thinking about how this is going to... Because we'll see those movies of like, there's been some big giant calamity and then the people are so... Everything turns into a ghost town. There's a bunch of ghost towns.
Yes.
People are running around. It's a lot more dangerous, blah, blah, blah. So I didn't know if that's what he was saying, like, I mean, is there such a thing as a fat, skinny person or a tall, short person? Like, why is he? Why did he do that?
Well, if you say fat, skinny people, I think
is he saying the whole gamut of fat to skinny?
It's a merism, right? Where like you say Dan to Beersheba or from New York to California. So I think what he's doing is he's saying, I need all kinds of people.
I need everybody.
I need the fat, skinny people. I need tall, short people. Like it's the gamut of
nobody people,
of
somebody
everybody.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, in the 90s, late 90s, there were these disaster movies. There are like a couple of them.
And there was something ended tomorrow. There was Volcano.
The Day After Tomorrow,
Yeah.
Volcano, blah, blah, blah. And it's
Yeah.
one of these things where you're going to have like a mass extinction event.
Yeah.
And it's like, we've got this ship. We're going to send like 9 people to Mars. They're going to repopulate. The humanity's going to go on. But all over, Morgan Freeman gets on TV and says, my fellow Americans, blah, blah, blah. You're all going to die, whatever.
Babe, those movies were interesting to me, but never affected me because that's how pompous I was about being in America. I was like, well, that shit would never happen. We're in America. This is America.
We would never
That
die.
would never happen. Yeah. It would never be a massive freeze here. We'd figure something out. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, my
when I was
God.
a kid growing up. So, back to your story.
Oh, my God. You're...
It just gets even more intense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It does kind of seem like... Because he says, girl my age went off, hit some tiny children. If the black hadn't pulled her off, I think she would have killed him. Are they saying is he basically, talking about a black person pulled her off from almost killing these kids? Is he basically saying, like, look, we all need, if that guy hadn't have been there,
yeah, a girl my age
these kids would have been dead. We needed him, a
soldier with a broken arm, fix his stairs to the wheels of a Cadillac. This guy's a crazy ass writer, man.
Yeah, I felt all these lines.
A soldier with a broken arm fixed his stair on the wheels of a Cadillac, broken, fixed. It's just, he's just a brilliant little bit of Easter eggs, but the dude is mega talented, man.
Yeah, okay.
Independence Day, the other one with the aliens.
Independence Day, yeah.
The aliens were coming through.
Yep.
Independence Day was great because it's like everybody was coming together, but it was the United States that fucked everybody up. It was the Americans that destroyed the aliens. We got in there.
Yeah.
Will Smith commandeered that ship.
Yeah.
Will Smith couldn't do it. He didn't have, first it was the aliens, and he graduated smacking the shit out of Chris Rock. Shout out to Will Smith.
No. All for a woman. We have a lot of influence, I guess. Okay.
Holy shit.
What?
Somebody who I love very dearly, they just bought Fuji. Their daughter is 11 weeks pregnant, but she's had like 9 miscarriages. So please pray for her.
Yeah.
That would be really awesome if the first formula that he gives her would be from us. That would be great, because that girl, please.
Did you say 11? Did you say 11? Did I miss
She's 11 weeks along.
She's 11 weeks along. And you said she had a miscarriage in the past?
She's had multiple.
You did say multiple. Oh, God. I thought you said 11 of them.
She's
sorry to hear
she's in
that.
her low 20s. And, traditional Catholic girl loves kids. And it's fucking brutal. Because every year she's at the gravestone, all that. So hopefully
if you
works.
wanna message me, send a message to vinandsori@gmail.com, and I'll get you my secret email. So, because I know the feeling.
So, but I want to go back to that. Like, I remember during 9/11 how people were with each other.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As I always say, like, because Dorian's a big lover of this country, and I'm like, dude, I wish you could have been here like 3 or 4 weeks after 9/11. It was like the most beautiful, like, experience I've ever had in my life as like as an American in this country. And it really like 9/11 really made me, because before I'm like, yeah, I was born, whatever. So like at the Olympics, I'd cheer for the Jamaicans and the Americans and all that. After 9/11, I was like, I am 100,000% American. Like, fuck that. Like, this is my, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and it was the people, man. Like, you had this like crazy like love for every single American. Like, everybody was like, yo, you good? You okay? That type of thing. My brother was calling me. He's like, yo, I was on a train. Dude was looking at me, grilling me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what? And then dude was like, yo, you good? To my brother, like, everybody's taking care of everybody. I mean, I talked to people who went down there in the cleanup effort, because they were getting like regular people to help because of the carnage was insane.
Yeah.
And dude was talking about like I mean, horrible shit, man. Body parts, all types of shit. These are regular people. So, like, especially New York, like a city that was known for, you know, being a cold city, being a kind of, you know, like it was.
Shoot, Ooh, I don't know.
So, like, those disasters, like, if there was, like, a thing that said, look, we've got 5 years to live, this meteor's coming, and, you know, Elon can't figure it out because we canceled him. So Elon, you know, basically says, oh, I'm this horrible person. Okay, I'm going to fucking take a SpaceX ship to Mars. Fuck you guys. Right? So let's set that up. Let's set that disaster up.
Yeah.
And, like, we would interface a lot differently if all of us knew we only had 5 years left. Everybody would be treating everybody so much differently if you thought there were only 5 years left.
Yep.
Like,
I mean, that's what, you know.
Delaney in the house. Holy
Sometimes I
shizzle
think,
whizzle.
hey.
Delaney, one of my favorite human beings of all time.
Sometimes I think, like, this is going to sound so bad, so please hear the spirit of what I'm saying, that when there are, like, terminal illnesses that kind of enter a family, like, it's a tragedy for sure. But then at the same time, like, sometimes, like, I've heard a lot of people say that that's kind of one of their regrets is, one, not having more kids. Like, even people that had, like, bunches of kids, they always said, like, they always wanted more kids. But also, like, holding on to grudges or holding on to, like, where you could have had a relationship with somebody, but because they did something or you did something, you guys couldn't bridge that gap. And that's another one of the conveniences of the Christian religion, is that you understand that everybody's got problems and everybody's a sinner. Everybody's going to do stuff. So Vin's going to hurt me and I'm going to hurt Vin. But we know at the end of the day that we love each other and we're not trying to hurt each other. So we're going to work through that stuff. And I think that when there's stuff like that, where there's like a terminal illness or something, it kind of gives people like that recognition of the brevity of life and how people are here, but you're not getting, everybody in your life is a gift to you and you are a gift to them. Nobody's guaranteed anything. And so, like, when we can look at each other like, okay, like, I have you here today, but I'm not guaranteed, you know, tomorrow or 3 years from now. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. So obviously that stuff is difficult, but I do think that, you know, like that. And I also think that, like, tragedies as far as, like, okay, here comes you know, if we were going to have a meteor was going to hit the earth, that would also be one of those things that people would be like, okay, we got to start taking stuff seriously and thinking stuff, you know, some things you just wouldn't make a big deal of. Like, some things, like, I think sometimes we need to laugh stuff off. Like, some stuff is just not that deep, man. I agree. You know, like,
I agree.
We sacrifice everything for our own ego so much that we'll run over other people and hurt other people and harm other people and not recognize the fragile state that somebody else may be in because we don't know what's going on with them. And I do think that a lot of times, like, in our community, I think we're pretty good about saying, like, I need help. You know what I mean? Like, I think that we're good about saying, I feel very dark, I feel very depressed, I feel very whatever. But are we also good at being able to say, okay, I've sat enough in that? And so, like that's kind of what I've been working on. Like, that's kind of, I know we're kind of like taking a little circuitous route here, but I've been working on that, like, that, you know, when a situation happens that makes you sad or angry or whatever, like, deal with that thing, but don't hold that negative feeling. You can't hold that negative feeling. Don't hold on to the feelings of suicide or the different things like that, because all that stuff, it just makes a darkness and brings us deeper and deeper and deeper. But again, like, to circle that around, like, if we thought that that life was going to be over in 6 months, I mean, how, like, I think maybe people would, out of fear, take their own lives. But I think that there's a lot of people that'd be like, well, I mean, it's over in 6 months anyway, so fuck it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, let's just do what we can in these 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, it would put a lot of things, you know, into perspective for everybody, and that's really the that's really the point, ultimately, especially, like, when you have that definitive X amount of years to live, like, it just, it's crazy. It's a crazy, like, situation to be in. Like, yeah. Like, we're following a guy and he's got weeks to live and we learned so much from him. Yeah. And, you know, we were talking about it last night because he basically said, I've never seen anything like this. Yeah, me neither. He's like, I got a couple weeks to live. He's like, pretty soon I'm going to go off to be in the council and take my place and rule the universe with Jesus. He said, I I gave it all for you guys. I left everything on the field. Now it's time for you to go carry on the work. I'm out of here. You're not going to hear from me again.
Yeah, he didn't look like he felt bad for any of us or himself.
He's like, he just said like, he said, I'm done. It's over with. He's like, and so there hasn't been any follow-up post. He's just at home and he's dying at home. And I'm sure when he dies, his wife will put out some whatever, but he's like
Maybe
done.
He has something pre-typed. She's going to post
Yeah,
it
I'm
for
sure.
us.
I'm sure he shot a video or something, but like he's done. Like but that's the thing where like this dude has come to the end of his life and he's like, I fulfilled my purpose for why I'm here. I think that was like one of C.S. Lewis's last words too. He was sick, he was dying, and then I think one of the last things he says to the people that were taking care of him, he says, he's like, I'm at peace. Basically, the purpose for which I was here has been fulfilled. And then, like a day later, they found him dead in his sleep, basically.
Wow.
But like amazing. That's the best of all possible worlds, because you're not going to escape this planet and be able to say, I've never done anything wrong. Whether or not, I don't care what you call it, sin, selfishness, I don't care. You're never going to be able to say that. You're never going to be able to say I never made a mistake. You're never going to be able to say I never hurt the people that love me. You're never going to be able to say I did as much good as I could have done. But what you can say is the reason that I was here, I fulfilled it. And that is different than all those other things.
I like that.
Why are you here? And did you fulfill why you were here?
Because your entire purpose is not to bitch, moan, and complain to anyone and everyone around you in every post you put up on Facebook. I'm not speaking to anybody directly because I know people are going to be like, was that me? Was that me? I don't look at everybody's Facebook. In fact, I rarely go on Vinand Sori Facebook. I'm just saying I've seen other posts in other places where it's like, wow, every time this person talks, it's always complaining. And I don't necessarily have like, if the complaint is going to bring about a resolution, but complaining for the sake of complaining and just to say how shitty your life is not going to change your situation. Well, it is. It's going to make you more negative about it, and it's only going to keep bringing you, like, down.
I have found that purpose-oriented people are much happier.
Yeah.
And they're also much more... They're able to deal with bad negative situations better because there's a narrative in which they're putting that situation. So
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly,
I think living with purpose really is the big thing. And so there you go.
Yeah, because this is the small example, but it's a mothering one. Like, we all went out this Christmas we went out to get our tree, and it was like friggin' bitter cold out, and one of the kids apparently misunderstood and thought that, well, they dragged their feet on getting their chores done, so they thought they were not going to be coming to the event. But it was a Christmas event. I wasn't going to not let somebody go. So I said, everybody hop in the car. Well, this person bolted into the car, no jacket, no gloves, no hat, nothing. Like, as a matter of fact, they were wearing a skirt, so it was even colder on their legs. So when we got there, I took off my jacket, and I was like, here, wear this jacket. And so my kid puts on the jacket, zips it up. Now, the whole time, I'm friggin' really uncomfortable because I don't have my jacket. But at the same time, I knew that my kid was warm. So it was like suffering for a greater cause. Like, my kid's warm, so I'm okay. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that it's like that for anything. Like, if you have a bigger reason, we can endure much more. We can traverse much more because we have a purpose and we have a goal. We have something that we're going to. If you have no purpose to your goal, you gotta get one. We have one for you if you'd like.
Yeah.
And it's not to buy Fuji. But it could be. Buy some Fuji.
It's to glorify God by enjoying Him and
forever.
Each other forever.
Yeah, it's joy. Joy and love is like a big, and that sounds so like My Little Pony-ish, but it's real. Like, when you look out in life, like, that's the realest, best moments that we've had has been. Look at those moments. The best moments of your life have been revolved around some sort of love for other people. And joy with that. Like, you'll see, start looking and you'll be like, okay, you know what I mean? This is about connection with other people. Just
you've got three purposes in life: to know and be known, to love and be loved, to give and experience joy. Those are the three purposes of your life. And to know and be known is a beautiful thing. To know God and to be known by God, to know your neighbor and to be known by your neighbor, to love God and be loved by God, and to bring joy to others and have others bring joy to you. That's the sum total of all of the purpose of your life. And if you get those three things right, then you'll be unshakable. but it takes years and years and years
and it
of
takes
mental training.
Vulnerability. It really takes vulnerability. Like, I know, like, a lot of people that I talk to on Patreon, I'm like, these people are so cool. Like, the people that I'm talking to, I enjoy you guys' company. And I'm thinking to myself, like, some of these people, like, they're not in relationships, or they're not, like, they don't leave their house. And I'm thinking to myself, you have so much to offer, though. Like, you got to get yourself out there to let people experience who you are as a person and enjoy you. And there's always a crew for weird people. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to look. But you got to be out there looking. Mm-hmm. You'll find them. I mean, we're your people too, but you got to have more than just us.
9, solid 9.
9. I'd match you with a 9.
Ziggy freaking Stardust, dear listener. Deep song.
Yep.
Deep song.
For the random Revo. All right, you guys. Up next, we've got some Van Morrison coming, so be on the lookout.
Yes, sir, Bob. We will check you guys later. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone. We shall return. Well, I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vinand Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy merch.
Buy merch indeed. A child shall lead them
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. The big homie Kai is in the house. Shout out
What's
to him.
up,
Gang,
Kai?
gang. Also, shout out to my man Applejack, who is our first village purchaser of Fuji Bear Formula.
Yes.
Tell him what he'll win. You are going to win a signed shirt from Vinand Sori, Applejack, and some other things I'll talk to you about in the text messages. But we're going to give you a signed shirt for being the first person in the village to get Fuji Bear Baby Formula. Please leave a 5-star review. Okay.
Applejack, you can keep, like, pushing for that free stuff, too. I'll be the one to get it to you, so keep pushing Vinny to get the information to me.
Shout out to Applejack, man.
Yes.
The guy. Speaking of Applejack, I gotta wait. I gotta wait till I have some real specific time.
All right. Okay, so Van Morrison, Into the Mystic is the next song. This is the third song you are reacting to from Sin&Glory's Free For All poll. It's a song by Van Morrison called Into the Mystic, and it was put forth by Carmen.
What?
Carmen!
Our Carmen?
Carmen!
Hey, Carmen! Did you reach out to her? Maybe we're gonna reach out to
Is
her.
what brings us together.
Yes.
Remember she did the voice?
Yeah, Carmen married us, mashallah. Shout out to Carmen. Oh, man, one of my favorites. All right, I really got to listen to this one now.
All right.
Into the Mystic.
Into the Mystic.
Okay, this should be interesting because she's a tool head, so it's going to be some psychedelic shit.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go. Into the Mystic. Van Morrison, let's go. What happened? What happened to you? Hold on, guys.
We're coming back.
Technical difficulties.
Pay no attention.
Pay no attention
to the failures of Vinand Sori.
Yeah, failure. Nothing but failure. Here we go. All right. Turn mine up a little bit.
I already like it, Carmen. I'm already vibing with it.
I knew you would.
Turn that up. It's chill. What year was this? 1970. Okay.
We were born before the wind, also younger than the sun. And the bonnie boat was one as we sailed into the mystic. Oh, I can now hear the sailors cry, smell the sea and feel the sky. Let your soul and spirit fly into the mystic.
This reminds me of our show.
And where that foghorn blows, I will be coming home.
Reminds me of the show we're watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the foghorn blows, I wanna hear it. I don't have to fear it, and I wanna rock your gypsy soul.
Like this.
Just like way back in the days of old. And magnificently we will fold into the mystic. When that foghorn blows, you know I will be coming home. And when that foghorn whistle blows, I gotta hear it. I don't have to fear it, and I wanna rock your gypsy soul, just like way back in the days of old. And together we will fold into the mystic. Come on, girl. Too late to stop
Man,
Woo!
I really enjoyed this one, Carmen. This is Brown Eyed Girl guy.
I don't know. It sounds like it could be him though.
Yeah. Oh my word, I loved this song. You know what I liked about this one? It's so simple. Like when he says, so obviously, you know, I'm thinking this is a relationship song, okay? And
You don't say.
I really liked it. First of all, I don't know anything about a bonnie boat. Like, is that a type of boat? I just kind of...
Ere the bonnie boat was won and we sailed into the mystic.
Oh,
yeah.
they won it!
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's even better. Okay, so he's saying we were born before the wind, also younger than the sun. Ere the bonnie boat was won and we sailed into the mystic. To me, the mystic, and I'm not sure if this is where he was going, but the mystic to me is that experience. Like, I'm going to make this a relationship song, but I also think this could be a friend song as well. Like, that type of relationship. I'm talking about a romantic relationship. So when I'm hearing this, like, you know how when all of a sudden, like, it doesn't, what we're doing doesn't matter, but we enter a certain zone together and we're like connected, we're doing the thing, whatever it is, like whether it's fucking winning at Fortnite or it's running through the woods like mad people exercising, or it's like there's times where you and I will we jump on, to me that's like jumping on the Mystic. Like that's the, like that unique experience that people get when they're totally into their thing, but they're also into the other person, they're doing this thing together. So it sounds like they want a boat, they're going out there, and he says, "Hark now, hear the sailors cry, smell the sea and feel the sky, let your soul and spirit fly into the mystic." And again, like, I don't know, like, to me, that, I love the sound of, like, that freedom, sort of, like, they're going out there. I mean, they just want a boat. Like, what do they really know about it? Sailing, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's that, but then the excitement of it, and just, like, the freedom of what they're doing.
Hark now, hear the sailors cry, smell the sea and feel the sky.
See, just everything, like you're out there.
Fly into the mystic.
And this makes me want to go on a boat. I don't know if I get motion sick. You do, though.
I did when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I've been on a couple ships and stuff and been fine, but I don't really know if you
it
can
might be the size.
Yeah, because it was just like,
if it's like a little,
like being in a city. It's not.
I was on like a small lobster boat, and
I wasn't like feeling the.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell it all.
Yeah, on the lobster boat, I could feel it. I was like, I wouldn't want to do this all the time. Okay, so I was like loving all that freedom. Of course, I think that the word gypsy is not an appropriate term anymore.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand why, because I haven't like looked into it, but I literally love the word. Like, I love the way that it sounds and the way that it looks. I've always just loved that word. So when he says that, he says, "I want to rock your gypsy soul." Like, she's a wanderer, she's all over, but he's like, "Come on this boat and we're gonna fucking tear it up," you know, but in a cool, chill sort of way. And we will magnificently we will float in the mystic.
I think the gypsy thing again. Apologies to, I think they're called Roma people. It's got the idea of like wandering, like you never kind of like set your feet down, and so like being on the sea kind of gives you a metaphor of we can go anywhere. See what I'm saying? Like,
but we're always home because they're always at the sea.
Right, because and as a person who's a wandering person, you're always kind of going to be at home because you don't settle anywhere. So you're always so it redefines what home is. Like, if you are a person who's constantly moving around, your definition of home is going to be a lot different than a person who's just been in the same place for 9 generations.
That is 1,000% true. Yep.
So you're going to be more relationally.
Yep.
You're going to understand home as more of a relational aspect than a
that's what you've taught. You've
physical
taught me
aspect.
Because you guys were always popping off all over the place, going here, going there, going everywhere. Not us. We were like, my parents did a couple moves when we were very small. By the time we were 3, we settled in the house that we grew up in. My parents still live in. So there was no moving around for us. And like when I went through my divorce and I moved from my house and we moved in together, like that transition was like, because the house to me was like, that was home. Like, and I could never go back home. I could never go back to my own bed, my own house, my own whatever. And then like over the years, I mean, we've been together for like 5 years now, and like it got redefined for me, like what is family. And it's not the place or the things that surround us, it's the people. And so like, which I'm actually excited about that, because I think that I always previously had a Roma soul, I guess you could say, but I think it kind of got, like he says, I want to hear it, I don't have to fear it. And I'm not sure why you would fear a foghorn. Maybe it's because if the foghorn blows, that means the fog is rolling in, so something could happen to them. Is that what he's saying?
No, I think the foghorn blowing is a metaphor for death. I want to hear it. I don't have to fear it, because I lived my life
to the full
with you to the full. We had family, we had experiences. So when it's my time to go, like, I want to hear it. Like, I want to be able to look death in the eye and face it and say, yeah, I'm good to go. We talked about this, with Heiser and C.S. Lewis. Like, that's a big thing. And it's funny because we said in the previous song that the purpose of life is to know and be known, love and be loved, and give and receive joy. And so it's interesting because the God angle of it, God isn't necessarily explicitly mentioned, but he talks about nature, he talks about the wind, the sea, and all those things. And a lot of people connect to the divine in that aspect as well. And so like it's this guy saying, like, he's figured out a big part of the entire purpose of life, which is to be able to love a woman, right? Like that's one of the major gifts, challenges, and purposes is to find a woman and love her the best. Like it's cool having a dude like Seven. I'm not gonna get into like personal life and stuff. We share a lot of personal shit, but obviously I highly respect dude. Like love him. But the way he talks about his girl, it's like the dude's a man's man. Like he I'd go anywhere with him, and we'd come back.
You're saying the way that the song
the way
talks
Seven,
about the girl,
the way
or the way
Seven,
talks
the way
about
Seven
his wife?
talks about his wife is the way this guy, like he's figured that out. You know what I'm saying? Like he's figured it out.
Yep.
He knows her, she knows him. He loves her, she loves him. Like they're that's a major chunk of the purpose of your life.
Yeah.
And so a lot of dudes though, like they take that shit for granted. You know what I'm saying? Like they you know, you're with somebody for years and years and you just take the shit for granted. But sometimes if you've had bad experiences or if you put yourself in bad situations or whatever. Like I remember very specifically one time, like the first time something happened. Like something really happened. And I remember, you know, having you sit down and say after, you know, nothing bad, but I just remember going back to my domicile and I really wanted to talk to homegirl. Because I was with homegirl at the time. Nah, I mean, but even if I could, she's just not that type of person.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this just happened.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm feel you feel like disconnected from like the human race. Like, yo, you just did that shit, bro. Like, you're not one of us anymore. So it's a hard thing to explain.
Wow.
But like, you really want somebody to lean on in those moments.
I mean,
you know
I think
what I'm
that story even more proves like how necessary it is, because even though you knew that really she was the exact opposite of somebody that could have helped you or comforted you in that moment, although she's not really like you never see that other side of her personality. I do see that other side of her personality. So when you say she couldn't have related to you on that, I disagree, because she's related to me on a lot of stuff that I'm like, wow, I never saw this side of her. So
yeah, she was like that with everybody else.
Yeah, that's why.
If people gave her an opportunity, she was just.
And I know you gave her lots of opportunity.
I know. You know, and it's fine. And if I had you, like, it'd be different.
My point to bring it up was, okay, you're in a situation where you can't talk to her. That's not going to happen. And even if you could, it wasn't going to go the way that you would need it to go.
Yeah.
But even beyond that, you still really wanted to talk to her. That just shows how important that relationship is, like that position in someone's life is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's so crazy, like how much inspiration and music and when a man loves a woman, the lengths that men go to, whether it can be negative, like war and killing and things like that, but there's also like, I remember Kobe was talking about his wife one time, and he said, yeah, she's my muse. And I was like, man, that's for artists, bro. You're a basketball player. Stop it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like,
That's interesting. I'm so surprised.
Then his celebration of life happened when he died, and his wife said that he taught himself like some Bach or one of those guys in a night.
What?
And then gave it to her, played it for her on Valentine's Day. Like, that was Kobe. I'm like, holy shit, she truly was his muse. Like, oh my God. Like, I can't even comprehend that. You know, like, but the dude, like, so my point is, like, women will do that. Like, they bring things out of you that normally,
for good or for evil, it really is.
Well, yeah, because yeah. So like it's when a man loves I know, but I'm telling you, like it's there's nothing like it, and there's nothing like the energy, the complementarity, the you're like me, but you're not like me. You're the same opposite. You know, that Hebrew word that's used for counterpart, which basically means same opposite. It's basically just a compound word in the Hebrew. It's just, I will find a rescuer that's his same opposite would be the English translation. You know, helper shootable would, if I could modernly translate, it would be, I would find a rescuer that's his same opposite. And so that's how women function.
I mean, but
again,
this song is not just about like how she's affecting him. Like I think she's going out. It says that she had aroma soul. So he was doing something for her too, because he brought her out on the water. They experienced it together, and you get this understanding that this is a mutual relationship. And I think that it's true, like the male female aspects of our relationship, where like, you know, I may soften you on some things, and then you're like at the end of the day, like girls will be out saying, "Oh, I don't need no man. We don't need no man. We don't need no man." Okay, well, I know what my life is like if you're not there, and I know what my life is like when you are there, and I much rather the life when you are there, not just because of the intensity and the love that we have, but just on a real practical level. Like the world, there are certain dangers in the world that I don't have to worry about at all because I have you. And there are some, and I see girls all the time that they don't have that luxury, or, you know, like when I was in delivering my baby, I had your support there. Like that's what I want for everybody. I want everybody to be able to have that support with each other, like that relationship that's, you know, well, you're my muse too, and you've been the inspiration for, you don't know the writings that you've inspired on my behalf, like that I've done in my journals. But like you've been an inspiration for me too, and you've been like the catalyst for a lot of change for me, because I'm almost a completely different person than I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
I agree.
Like stuff has changed drastically. So like I think that's you want a relationship that's gonna push you and stretch you. I'm like, you know, sometimes I'm like, I feel like I'm a little cold for this. I think the taffy's gonna snap, but then like you warm it up, you keep pulling, and you find that you're capable of doing more things than you ever thought that you could. You're capable of learning more things, and you know, even age shouldn't stop us. Like anything, like you see people, like I've been watching these shows on, maybe I'm just getting too talkative right now. I've been watching these shows on, again, this is another group of people that I don't know what you're supposed to call them. They on the show call themselves dwarves. I don't think that's the appropriate term, but they're, you know, small people that are born that way.
Well, if they call themselves that, they're
yeah, but I don't know if because it's the dad calling, you know what I mean? Like we might say something to our kids like that, you know, we say as a term of endearment.
I mean, he went on a show. It's a syndicated show that millions of people are going to watch.
Well, I don't want his family to speak okay with that term, but regardless.
No, I agree. And I do think it's valid to watch out for that, 100%.
So, but I've been watching that show and just watching like, and now I forgot where I was going with that.
So he's calling himself a dwarf?
Yeah, but that was just because I was trying to get into that story, but I didn't want to. But anyway, let's just, I don't know where I was going. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Apparently it
so
wasn't.
you got caught up in the making sure it's politically correct.
Yeah, that's what happened, and I completely forgot.
We just lost a point.
Yeah, we just lost a moment of brilliance.
How inefficient this has become. Yeah. I just think it's you know, I'm a sucker for love stories, man. I just really am. And especially dudes and their women. It's just a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful thing that I really love and enjoy, and that I did not appreciate until like 4 or 5 years into marriage, when things were not going very well. And I was in Bible studies with everybody. This is before I met you, obviously.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, you know, complaining about the toilet seat or something or whatever. And I'm sitting there dealing with, you know, whatever. Like, it made me be like, listen to these fucking guys complaining. These if they knew what the fuck I was dealing with right now. Yeah,
but babe, now you're on the other side of it, and you're in this type of relationship. And there are things that are just genuinely frustrating, like toilet seat things that are just genuinely.
Yeah, but I wouldn't bring it up in a fucking Bible study.
Oh,
for
right,
prayer.
yeah, that's kind of a bitch shit. I do.
Then I'm like, and now you just snitched on your girl. You just snitched on your girl in front of all these dudes. Told her that she's not, you know, whatever. What I'm like, you a hoe. Man, get out of here.
my
They're like,
word.
Vin, would you like to? Hell no, I'm not praying for you for that shit. Get the fuck out of here. Sack out. Please give my brother some nuts, Lord, so he can stop being a bitch ass nigga and complaining about his wife not cooking his fucking cookies after work. Get the fuck out of here. We need to get out of this thing before my soul ends up in Jahannam.
9.9. I really enjoyed it.
This is another solid 9 for me. Shout out to the Bible study, man.
Listen, babe, if we ever
shout out to the Bible study. It was bitter as hell.
oh my gosh, babe, if we ever end up on a
that's so bad. No snitching, not even to Jesus.
not even to G. Well, no,
No, for real. Like honestly,
Pray
it
to
was like
Jesus
some
about
hoes.
you.
No, I'm with negative vibes. You should have been in the Bible study. Negative vibes. You should have been like, y'all some hoes snitching on your wives to your other freaking hoe friends, and then God. You're gonna go to God. You know, I think God loves everybody, but I really feel like, what's the prayer request? Oh, she didn't make you cookies. Did you ask her how her day was? No. Okay. Did you repent for yelling at that person? No. Okay. I'll be right on the job and tell that broad to make you some cookies. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I think.
This shit is weak as hell, nigga. All right.
All right, there you have it, you guys. All right, we'll be back.
We've got to be the worst representatives of Christianity on the internet. We're so terrible.
Depends on how you look at it.
Sorry, out. God. Thank God for grace. Holy shit. I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull
You
that off.
can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village. Facebook.com/Vinand Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch, indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. We are in the midst of a Sin and Glory super stream. That super stream is a 7-song stream, dear listener. You yourself or your crew can get yourself a super stream. We already explained how to do that. Right now, we are going to listen to a band called Angel's Cousin, Demon's Child.
Wait, what?
That's what my friend said that ACD.
Oh my gosh.
That's what my friend said ACD stood for.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, and I think I told my mom that that's what it stood for too, to just kind of mess with her.
What'd she say?
Like, you're listening to the devil, your song, the music of the devil. I'm like, yeah, Mom, listening to ACD. I wasn't listening to no ACDC. I hated that band when I was a kid.
Oh my gosh, babe.
Like, yeah, it's called Angel's Cousin's Demon's Child, but they don't spell it out, so there's nothing you can do about it.
What? You did?
Oh, yeah. Me and my mom had some wars,
Okay,
man.
sometimes I think...
We had some wars.
You know, like, parents will be like, oh, I can't wait for this to happen to you when I hope you have a kid like yourself. Stuff like
Yeah.
that. Sometimes I feel like I am reaping the benefits of your terrible childhood,
What
like
do
the
you
way
mean?
that you were bad when you were a kid, making life difficult for your mom.
Now you have to deal with the ramifications of my
yeah. I'm like some of the stuff
that
that kids do. I'm like, I never did that. This is not karma.
Yeah, but there's a lot of shit that they do that I don't do either. It's the free thinking stuff that's
true.
allowed in the house that creates these very.
Why did we do that again? No, I think it's great. It is annoying at times, but it really works itself out. Like the amazing stuff that you see, guys. I'm not joking. I got the funniest story. So we were watching the Super Bowl. Halftime show comes on. You have Rihanna doing that nasty scratch and sniff thing. Gross. And our 3-year-old told the 2-year-old to shut the TV off, which we didn't hear that part of the conversation. 2-year-old goes over, boom, shuts off the TV. We're all like, what just happened? And then our 3-year-old is like, what did he say? She was being weird and I didn't like it, so I told Reza to turn the TV off.
Yeah, I didn't like it. She was being weird.
Weird.
I mean, he looks like this at me.
So weird. Yeah, so
Yeah, he didn't like Rihanna scratching and sniffing her junk. What a fucking disgust. Oh my god. Shout out to Rihanna.
Why did anybody think that? But I did think it was beautiful how she was, rubbed her belly when she did the, holding life inside you. I can't remember what was said at that.
Yeah,
Carrying
she said
life.
something about life. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, guys. Here we go. ACT.
Here is another song from Sin&Glory's Epic Free for All. It's a song by a band, maybe you've heard of them, known as AC/DC. What, babe?
I gotta show you this one because I don't think you've seen this one. Oh no! But it's already.
Are you showing the people?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to people. Probably already know, but there's a meme going around that's fucking hilarious.
Okay, pull that up while I read the rest of it.
You remember that? What do you call it? The that dude, that Sam Smith dude, whatever his name was, and he showed up like dressed like the devil and shit. They had some satanic performance at the Grammys, and of course all the shout out to the boomers. No disrespect to the boomers, but all the boomers are freaking out. Oh my God, this has never happened. This celebration of how you gonna celebrate Satan in the Grammys? This is terrible. Blah blah blah. So this meme came out, and I was like dying laughing when this meme came out. If I can freaking find the picture.
Am I gonna get this one? Sometimes he shows me like 50% of the memes you show me I don't get.
I'd have a hard time believing that you would.
I think it's that we have different humor, because sometimes I show you a meme and you're like, kind of. Like, you probably, maybe you get it, but you're like, that's not really that funny. Like,
yeah,
I'm like, what do you mean? I mean, my sides hurt. I've been laughing so hard.
Mahomes is probably the greatest, but I just think you just can't make that call. You just can't make that call. You got to make him earn it, man. Okay, anyway, here we go.
Wait, where's the thing? Where's the meme? You got it.
Right there. It's on the screen, like literally as we speak. Okay, so boomers. Sam Smith is trying to possess our kids.
Yeah.
AC/DC. I'm on a highway to hell. No, look. Boomers.
Right. You tell it on yourselves.
You
it's
hypocritical
okay for your generation.
We never had no devil in the thing. Wait, you see the way the dude was dancing?
He's all the way up like that.
Shout out to middle-aged white dudes. I love it. All right, let's go.
Okay, wait. I didn't finish reading. It was brought forth by Dwayne.
Dwayne!
What do you mean?
Poor guy's not even in the house, unfortunately. He's not even here. He's not even here.
He wasn't here all night, was he?
He hasn't been here all night, unfortunately.
Highway to Hell, AC/DC, which is crazy because it's not the Beatles, but I'm sure they were heavily influenced by the Beatles.
Yeah, I'm sure that this was like a copy.
John Lennon probably helped them write this up. Wait, we're doing Highway to Hell.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's a live okay, literally?
No. We're watching the live version. That's the lyric version. That version is going to get us blocked.
Yes. We're going to watch the live version, though, and I'm going to listen to the live version as well. Listen to this, you guys. I only know this song because obviously it's a very catchy chorus that popped up in like kids cartoons. What? That's Highway to Hell.
Really? How'd it go?
Highway.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was in cartoons?
I think it's
this band. That's this. Oh shit!
Yeah,
that's
I know.
This band.
But we've heard that a bunch of times in different clips, but I've never actually heard the song.
The first time I heard about this song was there was a church that had this as the opening song for Easter. And it was one of those discernment websites. They're like, how could you do this? Anyway.
Wait, they had a problem with that?
They had a problem with singing Highway to Hell at a church during Easter. Yeah.
But I think, I get what you're saying, but I feel like you'd come up with some real badass way of making that fit. So I'm not looking as shocked. I would have before. I would have been like, that church is going to hell.
I could find a way to make it fit, but I wouldn't. All right, here we go. AC/DC, Highway to Hell. Let's go. it. We're watching it live on the side.
No stop signs, speed limit.
Wow.
Nobody's gonna slow me down. Let the wheel gonna spin it. Nobody's gonna mess me around. Hey, station, pay my dues. Playing in a rocking band. Hey, mama, look at me. I'm on my way to the promised land. Wow, I'm on the highway to hell.
You guys should see this fucking crowd, dude.
What? Look at that!
Shit!
This is insane! And they're moving like together. Look at them.
Damn! I didn't know they were that big. That's,
No.
that's bigger than Woodstock.
You guys are hot.
Yo, I'm blown away by how big this crowd is, bro.
He's unbelievable. Unbelievable live.
I wish you guys could see this video. Damn. He's like, come on, gotcha! That was his...
On the highway to hell.
We're coming, guys. Oh my god.
His brother plays his guitar
Between his knees.
between his legs while he's putting out the last note. Oh man, that's family. Pretty sure his brother's in the band with him. All right, Highway to
Wow.
Hell. Okay,
That's unbelievable.
Speaking of hell, dear listener, my kids and I were in
constipation hell.
Constipation spit up hell, because American formula hasn't been significantly updated since literally before we were born, 1980. And so we had to go elsewhere. We had to go out to Europe. The European Union obviously has much higher standards. Our particular suppliers from Germany. Germany actually has the highest standards in the world for baby formula. That's a fact. The European Union actually just updated their formula requirements again recently. So the next batch of orders we have to make are going to be even more updated. There are certain, we're not going to mention them yet, but the commercial is coming. Certain earthy kinds of formulas that you would think are great, non-GMO or whatever, that have high levels of arsenic, all
Like
types
stuff
of
that's
craziness.
organic, you know?
Yeah, supposedly organic, but they've got high levels of arsenic, all types of other stuff. So anyway, Amazon.com, if you just type Fuji in there, you'll be able to get it. Send us an email, vinandsori@gmail.com, with a receipt picture, and we will get you something very, very special. But
The link is in the description of
link
this
is
video
in
for that.
the description.
If you are interested.
Fuji Bear.
Yeah,
Okay.
in the meantime, you guys, so Vin is always being like, after song finishes, you're like, and this is why I like the Alliances, because we would have never heard this song.
Right.
Now, I don't know that we would have never heard this song because it is an AC/DC song, so that is like a pretty popular one, and obviously Highway to Hell
We
is
would definitely have
is
heard
so
this song.
famous that it ended up in the cartoons and different things that I've listened to. But this live version, this is the reason why I'm very grateful for the Alliances and for like the DJ streams, is because you have somebody. This, when we first started the channel, because we didn't know shit about metal. Every time I curse now, I'm like, we're gonna be seeing your dad soon. What if he checks out our channel? Like almost every video, I'm like, shit, fuck, bitch.
Yeah, I'm glad the last time we talked, he said that your sister's cussing you out because you never call her.
Oh.
So I'm like, oh, good, okay, good.
Excellent.
Because I'm just like my sister, so he'll have these expectations.
Okay, excellent.
But yeah,
Good.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so this is the reason when we first started the channel and we would listen to songs, it was literally, we had no idea. So we'd be like, okay, let's react to this song, because people would say in the comment section the name of the song, and we'd look it up, and then you have the live version, the lyric version, the original version, 2, 3, 5 live versions, all different years. So you have no clue which song is the best version to listen to. This was incredible. They were like pretty old in this live version recording, but his voice is solid, man.
Yeah, he is.
Holy moly.
Very strong. And man, these fucking, I'll tell you
this
what.
crowd was vibing. If I had a
free, like,
go back in time and live that?
Between the Linkin Park song that we did that got blocked versus this song, I would rather like have the ability to play this song, the live one that we saw. Because when you see that crowd, here's the thing that gets me about bands like this, bands like Iron Maiden. They're in a crowd with literally 80,000 people were probably there.
I mean, it was incredible.
It was a massive crowd jumping in unison, okay?
Yeah.
Here's the thing about this crowd, though. Same thing with the crowd from Iron Maiden. They were all in their 20s. It was a bunch of kids in their 20s listening and rocking out to this band that wrote the music like 40 to 50 years ago.
It's just incredible. You saw like the age gap.
It was insane.
And people were not just doing it. Yeah, you could, unbelievable.
It was unbelievable to me that you had a band like that, that they were that big.
I'm going to try to, I want to take a picture of that crowd for you to put up on the screen.
Yeah, picture's great, but like
I know it doesn't.
In unison.
You guys really should check out the video.
The only time I saw something like that was Korn's Blind at Woodstock. After Jonathan said, I bet. And the whole thing is like, it was times like 5. It was bigger. I'm like, damn. Yeah. Like, it was.
Okay,
it was
I'm gonna put this picture up for you guys,
there,
but
the picture's cheese
really.
You get to see these people jumping. It's unbelievable.
But you know what I'll do? I'll also give you guys the link to the video so you guys can check out the one that we were looking at, because I'm telling you, Who picked this song?
It was a different vocalist. Bon Scott died in 1980, so it was their second vocalist that was doing it. But
oh my gosh, he sounded just like what I always thought that chorus that I heard.
I couldn't tell the difference between
In fact, so I listened to a big chunk of the live version, and then I switched it so I could hear the other version, and the live version was better. But now I feel a little uncomfortable saying that, because it's like, wait,
what do you mean the live version?
This one was a different person. Who did the other version, the lyric version that we had up on for everybody else? Did everybody else hear this guy?
No, everybody heard the lyric. They sound familiar. They sound very familiar. Everybody said so.
Yeah, they sound unbelievably similar. That's so crazy. I honestly had no idea.
I wonder if the church copped the song like they did "Creeping Death." Yeah, and like there's all these like like those church signs.
Yeah.
Like
the ones you like, but I don't.
If you're on the highway to hell, again. If you're on the highway to hell, take an exit, all that type of shit.
take the first off ramp.
I'm always like, yo, like that's clever to a degree, but like, do you really think somebody's like, you know what?
That's what I say. You know, I'm gonna go to church because it said for me to get on the off ramp. But you know what? They must honestly. Would they keep doing it if they didn't have people coming into church and say, you know what? I came by because I saw your sign.
They absolutely would. Yes, they would absolutely, because it's one of those things where it's like, well, we always do this. Like there's so many things that happen in institutions that they don't even think about what they're doing or why they're doing it.
I mean, those signs catch my eyes.
I do know catch my eye.
Two local churches that always have those signs. I know exactly where those churches are. I'm sure that we have a lot of churches in our area, but other than the big main ones, I wouldn't have even known about the other ones except for those little signs.
It's a good argument. Revo, how many people were in that freaking crowd?
Did you put the picture up?
No, I didn't put the picture
I texted you.
I'm
telling you, if you guys watch the crowd just like moving like a wave at some points. It was just crazy.
There used to be a statue of Jesus on the side of I-75 in Michigan with a sign that said, "You're on the right road." Welcome. Okay, so the song is essentially...
Dude, there's a sign, no joke. I don't know if I've ever pointed it out to you. Maybe it's gone now. But when you're trying to get on the highway over here in Maine, And there's a sign, it says hell and with an arrow down. So it's funny because it's like the opposite. So you're on the right track. This one's like, you're going to hell. I'm like, okay. How
straight. You know, people say straight to hell. It's like, what do you mean? Like crooked to hell? Like, was there a scenic route on the way to hell? What do you mean straight to hell? Like, there's like multiple highways that get you to hell. Like, is there a scenic route we can go around?
Oh, no. I think that they're saying
and Alpha Centauri and then end up in hell?
They're saying there is no purgatory. There is no nothing. Like, when you die, you are going straight to hell. But these people are apparently very happy about it. Because, you know, I used to have a teacher in Bible college that said, you know, everybody says I'm going to hell because that's where the party is. And he used to say, the party's been canceled due to the flames.
Oh, my God. That's so terrible.
He used to say so many things like that.
The
I was
party
like,
is canceled.
Are we supposed to really use that in real life?
Don't pass go. Don't connect you on your dog. Yeah.
And he was like one of those people that was so proud of himself after he said it.
Oh, I'm sure. Party's
been canceled.
I'm sure. Did you think it was cool?
I thought it was funny because you got to compare it to all the other things that we were just sitting and listening to lecturing. So if somebody's going to come with a couple jokes, I'm okay with that.
I like what Rod Bell did, which was to say, there's only one party in the afterlife, and that's in heaven. Like, what this guy's describing is heaven. He's not describing hell.
I believe you're confused, sir.
Yeah, but see, this is the problem, because when we talk about, quote, heaven, or we talk about, quote, hell, it's this very Dante's Inferno, like, works righteousness, non-relational, completely law understanding of who goes to heaven and hell and why. Mm-hmm. Because everything is about law.
Yeah.
So these people are saying, oh, I don't go to hell because I go to hell because I don't follow the rules. Mm-hmm. Well, none of my friends follow the rules either, and we all have great fun together.
Right.
So go for it. They don't realize that things like friendship, music, cake, taste, sex, all the inebriation, all the things that they enjoy are expressions of God's love to them and gifts of God to them. So when you're saying you want to go to hell, what you're saying is you want to cut yourself off from the source of all love, joy, music, sex, friendship, taste buds, euphoria.
Yeah.
You can't have it both ways.
Right.
Right now, all of us are the rebellious teenager living in our parents' house.
Yeah.
Believing that we should have our independence, but still completely, totally reliant on our father. Mm-hmm. And we're the spoiled rich kids who just love the dad's benefits. Dad's got a convertible. He's got this. He's got that. God gives you friendship. He gives you cake. He gives you the internet. He gave us to you. He gave all these things to you. You're enjoying all the good things that God is giving you. And then you turn around and say, one of these days, I'm going to leave your house and never see you again. But you think all that shit's going to follow you. Mm-hmm. No. All the good shit is in Dad's house.
Yep. Facts.
So the reason he doesn't kick you out of the house, even though you're a horrible, terrible teenager like me, is because he wants you to get to the point where you see past the things and you say, man, I love you.
Yep.
Right? And this is why I say, like, I wish people had kids, because when you have kids, you'll understand how God operates. You'll understand heaven and hell. You'll understand everything.
Yeah. It really changes so much.
If you have a kid that is determined to leave your house, you will do everything. And you know they're not ready. You will warn them. You will threaten them.
You will stay awake at night worried about them.
You will cry. You will give them gifts. You will throw the kitchen sink because you're like, yo, you have no idea what you're stepping into. Yep. And so, like, I get the highway to hell thing. I get the whole, like, I'm going to go to the hell where I can party with my friends and all that and get away from you judgmental people. If you look at hell as a place where bad people go and as a heaven where good people go, I'm with it.
Yeah.
But if you look at hell and heaven...
Not good people, you like religious people.
Well, I'm saying if you look at... I'm just looking at it from the context of law. If you look at... Because even like our atheist friends, they have friends that are very grace and do very good things. So they would say, yeah, that guy's going to go whether or not he's a Christian. But if you just look at hell as that's where bad people go and heaven is where good people go, like, I get it. But if you have the paradigm that hell is a place for people that hate God and don't want him, and heaven is a place where we get to enjoy music times 50. Like 3 minutes of music, when you get to that side of consciousness, is going to be worth all the music you've ever heard here before ever. You're going to say, I never even heard music.
Oh.
It'll be like the difference between watching you know those little like stick figure cartoons or whatever,
Yeah.
and then watching the same scene in 4K HD. Like you'll say I right. So all these good things are coming from a certain fountain, coming from a person. Like they're inextricably linked to this person. So if you cut yourself off from that person, then you also lose all the other benefits of that person. So. Love I mean, the song is a classic, obviously, and I understand the sentiment, and that the lyrics tell me, okay, we're not communicating very accurately.
Right, yeah, because there's a huge crowd that they're all on the highway to hell, not understanding that.
Right. Yeah, and you know, I have a kid determined to leave the house. He's 4. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's all of us,
Yeah,
right? And,
right.
and there's shit that you do
Right.
to keep that fucking kid in the house because you know he's gonna get torn to shreds. He goes outside.
Yeah.
He's fucking 4.
Yeah.
Right. So if you have a kid, everything will be explained. Old Testament, New Testament, everything. You're like, why is God sometimes threatening people? And then the next day he's like, it's like that's the stress of parenthood, bro.
Yep.
That's how it is.
Yep.
There are times when you're like, if you do that, I mean, I do that as a principle a lot. Sometimes I will project more anger than I really am. Like sometimes, like,
And he closes the door. He looks at me.
What
Like,
do you think? Did you think?
yeah.
And God does that too. Like there's sometimes He's like, you guys are done. I'm fucking you up. You guys, nobody will ever hear of you again. And then the next chapter, He's like, how could I do that? To you?
Right, but how could I? Yeah, come back in here.
Come inside.
Yeah, but it's not just like that God was like God can't make up his mind, and he's like one day reaming somebody out, and the next day he's like, we'll just come back. Well, no, when he tells you the seriousness of where your life is headed and where you're going, if the people say, yo, I don't want to go that way, I'd like to actually take this wonderful path with you, then he says, you know what, come back in. Even though he said you're never coming back in, I'll come back in.
Can't
you know,
do
like you can enter back, you go back in. That he can, you know, he's got the door open, but there are things that we have to leave behind to be able to take that new path. You can't, you know.
That's a good shirt. I have a shirt that says "Hell is boring." I agree.
Yeah.
That's one of the things people don't understand. Like,
Yeah, that's a good one.
being bored is a consequence of the fall.
Yeah. There will be no boredom in heaven. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the other thing. You're going to be extremely bored in hell. It's an extremely boring existence for sure. Because if you think about an existence where you have consciousness but no color and no sound,
Dwayne,
like,
you made it.
Shit is crazy. I mean, I gotta
Wait,
get this
you
song.
said no sound? What'd you say?
No sound. Sound is a gift from God.
Okay, I've never thought of that before, but that is true.
God doesn't owe us sound. Somebody's born without the ability to hear. God didn't sin against them.
Oh, that's horrible.
But if God heals them, that's grace. And here's the thing. There are certain attributes that we are missing right now that we don't know that we're missing.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Then we'll get to the other side. We're going to be like, holy shit, we've been disabled our entire lives. Right. So that's how it's going to be. So, like, that's not... I don't believe that God is, like, setting people on fire for eternity. I think there's an easy biblical case to disprove that idea. But that doesn't mean that it's a great existence. If you just had even heroin... Even at the heights of a person's heroin addiction, that euphoria that people are chasing is found in God. That's the reason God tells us not to do those things, because we start relying on those for the, whatever. So it's just one of those things, like, you just really need to know what the fuck you're saying if you're saying things like you're on a highway to hell. Because what you're talking about, a party and all this shit, sounds like what happens where we're going.
Right.
And obviously we'd want you to come. This is a classic song, 9.8 for me.
10.
10 for Sori, because Sori wants to go to hell. We shall return, dear listener. More music on the way. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone. I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinandsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vinand Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch. Buy our merch indeed. And a child shall lead them to buy our merch. Vinny's on his way back, and we will start this. Hi. What?
He's out there. Zoe! I was like, I'll do it. He's like, no, I want Zoe. Okay. He doesn't want dudes wiping his butt.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that.
Okay, well, that's a...
Yeah.
All right. Whatever.
All right.
He's going to be an interesting old man.
Alice in Chains, you guys.
Alice in Chains. Okay.
Your Decision is the name of the song.
Why are people talking like that's my decision? Shout out to Obama.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Alice in Chains is the name of the game.
Here's another winner of the free-for-all. This one was brought forth by Neil.
Is Neil
whose birthday is coming up.
Is Neil here?
Yeah, I just saw him in the thing. I think I just saw it.
Shout out to Neil. He's got his birthday bash coming up.
Yeah, he's got his birthday bash. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, it's an Alice in Chains song called Your Decision. I'm also including the official video, which is optional viewing for you guys on the side. So I will, I'm gonna bring that one up right post haste.
Shit, that shit's in my head.
Well, I know it's such a catchy one. Okay, so
Witchcraft.
I've been doing the other song, the We Will Rock You. We will. Well, the boys love it.
That beat is hard. Bro.
Yep. Rock you. Yeah, hear them?
Yeah, that's racing. Keep
Excellent.
talking.
All right. Are you downloading this? Did you already download it?
It's already there. Just talk to him. I'll take it.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so I've got the official up over here, so I'll be able to watch that. So that's going to be good. I'll tell you guys, kids, they'll drive you nuts, but they're also funny. Like, these two are supposed to be in bed. It's 10:30. They were supposed to be in bed at 9. But they have gotten potty trained, so they keep having to use the bathroom over and over and over and over and over and over and over. It's just a ploy. But they think we've never been kids and we don't know what this is about. The thing is, our parents were hardcore. My parents would have probably been like, you better hold it. Or they probably would have said, you have one time to get up and use the bathroom. Like one time and then fall asleep. And then, if you have to wake up earlier, you wake up later, that'd be fine. But friggin' getting up 6 times in an hour and a half, I think something's going on here. I need a charger. Anyway,
I love you.
his solo stuff's really good too. I bet.
Who?
I don't. I assume that we were talking about.
Lane?
Well, we're probably talking about Alice in Chains vocalist. I wish I had a charger.
Place I was back then. So I made a big mistake.
Oh, I sent that to Johan
Instead
of sending it to you. No. Oh, I did send it to you.
All right, guys. Sorry for the delay. Alice in Chains, Your Decision. Who selected this?
I already announced it and then forgot. Like my phone, can you just look? My computer's dying and I need to get a charger. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, Rasulullah. I mean, just
yours looked low.
It's a bit low.
But I need that bass.
It'll be fine.
I need that bass.
Okay. All right, guys. Here we go. Alice in Chains.
Okay, and I'm gonna have the official over here.
Lane Staley's vocals were inspired by the big homie John Lennon. A little bit of metal trivia for you guys. I mean, you know who said that. Oh. It was me! All right, here we go. Alice in Chains, your decision.
For Neil.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're...
I wasn't considered again.
Well, you were. You were going to hear the live version.
Wow. Sounds like Nirvana a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that.
Time to change has come and gone. Watched your fears become your God. It's your decision.
Oh, look. You should just wrap up that.
It's your decision. Chose to run. Apathetic to the stunt. It's your decision.
Wait, this is the new song.
It's your decision.
13 years ago.
You feed the fire that burned us all when you lied. To feel the pain that spurs you on back inside. No one plans to take the path that brings you lower. Here you stand before us all and say it's over, it's over. It might seem an afterthought. Yes, it hurts to know you're bought. It's your decision. It's your decision. You feed the fire that burned us all when you lied. To feel the pain that spurs you on back inside. It's your decision.
visuals on that was pretty crazy.
That
Holy
is... Whoo!
Your Decision.
Your
whoa.
Decision.
Wow, we just missed a really nasty part.
What was she eating the heart or whatever?
No, I guess it had backed up a little bit. It just looked really gross. I just saw a little second of it. Okay. Wow, Your Decision. That's a crazy song. I'm gonna pull up the lyrics here.
Yeah, we got the lyrics
because
on
I'm
the
curious.
television as well.
I'm curious. Like, did the lyrics match the
Yep.
the song?
Yep.
The visuals? Did it match the visuals?
Oh,
like
yeah,
it did. It fit in with what I was seeing,
Definitely
but
thought
I
it did.
didn't know if I was missing some of the stuff.
Lane died in 2002. This song came out in 2009. So I have to believe that Lane is in the background here. He dies of a drug overdose, right? So, time to change has come and gone. Watch your fears become your God. That's your decision. That's a crazy line. Watch your fears become your God.
Oh my gosh.
That's a crazy
Well, wait,
line.
what are you getting from that line? Because I'm not sure if it's the same thing I'm getting. What are you getting?
Well, when you become your God is whatever is the ultimate director of everything that you do.
Yes.
That's what your God is.
Yep.
And your God is also when your mind strays, when you're not putting a lot of like objective thought into something and your mind kind of strays. Mm-hmm. One of the ways to know what your God is what your mind strays to when it's unoccupied. So like a drug addict, for example, when their mind is unoccupied, they go back to the feeling or this or that. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of time, like with both of like, well, you'll be like, oh, I was walking and this thought hit me about God or whatever, whatever. Like, so if your fear becomes your God, that means your fear is dictating. It's the underlying primary motivation for everything that you do and everything that you think. You become consumed by fear. It's damn near impossible to get somebody right sized in that situation.
Yeah, and I think that like a lot of times people are like, oh, well, fear? I mean, like what? It's not like we're going to walk outside, there's going to be a tiger there or something like that. But another word for anxiety is fear. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people can recognize, well, I have anxiety, I am very anxious. And like one of the I think one of the cool things about being a parent of a teenager is, you know, one week we had a discussion on anxiety, and I saw a definitive change with one of our kids when they realized that they don't have to be controlled by anxiety. That anxiety is a fear that is coming to them, but they don't have to be controlled by it, but that they can control it. It doesn't take care of everything overnight. But I saw a drastic change with one of them when they accepted that as a reality, that, you know, any form of mental illness that anybody has, diagnosed or undiagnosed, that those things, you know, it is your decision at the end of the day if you're going to continue, like, with the exception of some people that, you know, I'm not talking about the exceptions, I'm talking about the rule right now. And that, you know, you make that decision. Are you going to decide to let that anxiety or that fear rule you and be your God, because that's going to determine what you're going to do and who you're going to see and where you're going to go in life? Then that is your God. And if you let anxiety be your God, you will shipwreck so many things in your life. Decisions made off of fear, decisions made off pride, all those things, it really ends up shipwrecking a lot of folks. So yeah, so that part made me think of that. Watch your fears become your God. It's your decision. It's your decision.
Yeah, I mean, you know, to be in a band, to have that dream, and then at the same time to watch somebody completely, I don't want to say piss it away. That's probably an uncharitable way of assuming, but you gotta believe that there's some resentment there, as far as like, yo man, why couldn't you just ever get your shit together, you know?
Yeah.
And I think like one of the things that happens is when you have somebody in the throes of addiction, or even, let's say it's not addiction, they've got a very unique mental health issue. Like we have a person in our life that has some very significant challenges mental health wise. Mm-hmm. Everything in your life becomes about them. Everybody takes a back seat. Everybody takes a back seat because you're trying to take care of this person. And you get lost in that. Like, I look back and I'm like, I was a terrible, terrible father. Not in the sense of...
I think you put all of your, not all of them, but you put a lot of your energy into being a good husband.
I did.
And so you can't,
because
if you don't have people that are going to partner with you and make this thing work, like, then something is going to suffer drastically. And obviously, yes, because she got a lot. You were really, like, I look back and I'm like some of the decisions that I'm like, I don't know, but then I look at it and I'm like, the whole time you were trying to maintain vows that you made to God, that you made to her, that you made to her mother. Like, you had a lot of shit against you, and you maintained that because, you know, and I know that you have regrets when you look back at other areas where people or things suffered because you were putting it all. But, you know, like, I don't know. I feel like that God looks at that and he's like, there's grace for that other stuff. Like, I'm going to make it up in the long run because you were trying to do, it's not like somebody who's like, you know what, fuck this. And they're trying to wreck shop for everybody around them. And then they have to deal with the chaos. You were trying to, you know.
Yeah. So it's hard to watch somebody like where I used to say, like, yo, we could be so happy. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I could just imagine being a rock star. Like, we could be so happy, but you have this thing.
Yeah. And
you're not going to quit. And it's funny because when we saw these guys live, we saw Alice in Chains live.
We did.
At the Korn show.
Did they do
They were the ones that did the cell phone thing.
Yeah.
We walked right by the lead singer, the lead singer and Jerry Cantrell. We walked right by him. On the way to see...
The girl had no idea.
We were side stage. We were literally on stage with Korn. And you know me, I'm a giant Korn. I'm like, fuck. So we were in the catering area. Cantrell's there. He was eating something in the catering area, and then the black dude was with him. And I didn't say a word to him. We walked right by them because the guy was leading us to, like, okay, he's like, what side of the stage do you guys want to be on? Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I was like, holy, I can't believe what's happening right now. Like, and
I'm such a weirdo because I'm not going to recognize these people necessarily. And honestly, this is going to sound a little bit weird, but like, I'm a Vin fan. So I'm at those shows because you're at those shows. I wouldn't be at them if you weren't there. I wouldn't have done this channel if you weren't here. You know what I'm saying? So like, you're like, oh, there's Alice in Chains over there. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, was there?
She was like, oh, really? Oh,
that's
like,
interesting.
Who are they?
Anyway, Vin, so what did you think
the last band that was just up 5 minutes ago?
Who are they?
They had just rocked 10,000 people. Everybody had their cell phones up.
That was amazing. It was so emotional.
Such an emotional
we have a review of it up. We should section stuff off differently so people can find the reviews and where it's much easier to see that.
We'll probably re-upload it or something. But yeah, like, or we just cut out the Alice in Chains part and just do because we did every band that was there.
I know, yeah.
So we had that one Alice in Chains part,
and we had like clips of the actual show. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, man, like that's hard. Like, it's your decision. Like those, and it's funny. Like, those are
crazy thing to say.
Those are things that I said, and those are things I've had to say about people in my family. Like I've been really, it's coming up on the 8-year anniversary of a family member of mine who made certain decisions that obviously she can't take back now. So it's like one of the things that you have to say is like, everybody makes choices. And it's one of the things I tell the kids is like, at the end of the day, you are the sum of 40, 50 billion choices. Really, at the end of the day, wherever you are on a given day is a result of a bunch of choices that you made previously.
For the most part. I mean, there are some situations, especially like for kids. We're, as adults, we absolutely have made decisions. And even if decisions were made for us as kids, like, you still actively made decisions as an adult. But like, kids, sometimes they're just thrown into the ship that we're driving and they have to jump around and it just, and that's...
Yeah, but how they respond to that is still a series of choices.
It is, because you let yourself get bitter and angry and all that stuff. It is going to definitively change you as a person.
Right. So when they
No, you're right.
When they had all that energy and they were all mad at their mom and...
Yep.
There was a certain line. I'm like, I'm not going to let y'all do that. And we will... It
was hard, too, because I wasn't happy with the lady either. So
I said, you...
Some of the times I wanted to be like,
I'm
go ahead, disrespect her.
I'm not going to have a category in their mind that there are certain women you can disrespect and dishonor.
Yep.
And there are certain situations where a woman deserves to be disrespected and dishonored. Like, I'm not going to have that as a category in my kid's mind.
No, you're right. You're right.
So it was hard. They were in pain. The boys were in serious pain because they got the brunt of it.
Yeah.
But I held that line. I never let them do that because not for her, but a lot of it was, I know that if I allow that, then they're going to have a category that, hey, if a woman crosses you to this degree, you can be disrespectful, you can dishonor her, blah, 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 blah. And that was going to affect their wives and their kids. And so I was very aggressive about that. We're not going to tolerate any disrespect. If you want to talk about how she's hurt you, we'll call a family meeting.
Yep.
But we're not going to disrespect her.
Yep.
We're not going to hold that shit over her head. I told them, I said, listen, if you never want to see your mother again, cool. I will arrange that. That's your decision. But if you do want to see her again, we're not going to do this thing where you get to go and disrespect her and dishonor her. Get in or get out. And so, because that is something I want them to replicate in, like, if their marriage is not working out and shit is getting physical and crazy and this woman is like attacking you, then leave. But if you're going to stay, then you can't put your hands on her, and you got to keep working on her. Those are the options. You don't get to sit there and disrespect her, dishonor her, blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, like, it was killing me as a father to have to punish my boys on behalf of this person who hurt them so deeply. But again, it wasn't. Now,
Well, you
we
see
were
the fruit
able
of
to
it.
like maintain the bridge long enough to where they didn't burn it with her,
Yeah.
and she didn't burn it with them, and now it's great. She was over yesterday watching the Super Bowl, whole 9 yards. Like,
Right.
now,
Yeah, I told her she could bring her cats over.
now we're in really, really good shape. But again, that was a series of hundreds of decisions that had to be made, and hundreds of arguments that we had to have over and over again.
And that's the thing, like, when you want a family, you want to have like a crew, your people, you know what I mean? Like, everybody suffered. Everybody went through that shit. And it was all about, okay, everybody has to not let themselves get angry, not let themselves get bitter. You know, there's some things that you can't unsee. There's some things that you can't go back and change. So you made your decision. And, you know, that's some of the things that we talk about a lot with our kids too, is that you made a decision and now you have to live with the consequence of that decision. And, you know, there's sometimes where you want to bail them out, but you have to let them experience it, because if they don't, then when they become adults, you're going to bail them out every single time. Eventually, they're going to get themselves into really massive trouble, very big trouble. So, and like all of us find ourselves in situations, and you have a choice. Are you going to get bitter? Are you going to get angry? Are you going to bring out like a dark emotion that like makes you feel more powerful than the situation? Or are we going to look at the situation and be like, this really sucks, you know, and then and deal with how that feels and confront issues when things need to be confronted. Don't leave stuff just sitting in the open. Like we had a lot of conversations to get through a lot of different stuff, and those conversations are not easy either.
And but at the end of the day, like you have to be able to say, like,
we did everything that we could to.
Not even we did everything we could. I don't think I did everything I could with my mom. And I don't think I should have done everything I could with my mom.
Yeah.
Because there are certain boundary issues that I love her to death, but
yeah,
she made those decisions ultimately. Mm-hmm. She chose to go to a state that completely was outside of her support system.
Yeah.
She knew what she was doing. Those are decisions she made. No, I didn't do everything I possibly could have done. But ultimately, that's a decision she made for herself. And so, you know, it's important to recognize that, because
I don't.
Go ahead.
I have to push back on you on that, because I don't see you're experiencing that whole situation as yourself. Like, right. I see you're hurt because of that. So when you say she made that decision for herself, no, she made that decision for everybody around her. No,
it's true. It's true.
And none of her little babies had a decision to change that. And that to me is like...
Yeah. And, you know, I don't judge her. She was in a lot of pain. She was in a bunch of pain. So I don't have any... I don't judge her at all. But it is true. Like, we're all interconnected with each other. So when you make these decisions, like, it's this big thing. Like, from birth to everything else. It's my decision. Me. My body, my this, my that. As if like we're all in this solipsistic little pods and we're only there for ourselves and we don't affect everybody else. Like we shouldn't have to consider other people. Ridiculous. I understand that, but and like, you know, so I can relate to this song because like to me there is some resentment in the song. Like,
oh yeah,
you know, you chose to run apathetic to the stunned. You know, you
when
fed
you
the fire
lied,
that burned us all. You heard it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like it's just look. You got to be very, very careful, and that's one of the reasons my circle's small and has always been small. Like, there's always been a gap between people who are my friends and people who believe that they're my friends. But I've always kept it small. One of the reasons I kept it small is because I don't want to be affected by all these other people's various decisions, and I don't want to affect other people with my various decisions. And then I get into a situation, public spaces, where people just kind of like, you know, collapse on you, and it becomes, you end up getting held to these ridiculous, it's so crazy. Like, once I stopped being a local public figure, like, I was able to post on Facebook and not think about it. Before, I had to think about everything I posted, because I'm like, I'm a public figure, blah, 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 I can't say this. You know, like, it's very burdensome for me. So that's why I keep the circle as small as I possibly can, as far as, like, the people that I'm, you know, that I have.
Extremely emotionally vested in. And
Yeah. And those people, like, I'll, you know, whatever. If someone called me up and said, hey, we got to go to, you know, whatever. Like, but that's one of the reasons why. It's because I don't have this ridiculous idea that I make choices for me. I'm going to do me. Like, I'm going to do me is probably like the first sentence in probably 8 million disasters in the last 10 years. And, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's true.
Whole, I'm going to do me bullshit.
Yep.
You know, and I understand, like, there's boundaries and there's balances on everything.
Yeah, but the
anyway.
reason people say I'm going to do me is because they've been hurt. So, again, like, this, everybody hurts each other and everybody is hurt by other people, but we have to figure out ways in a healthy way to deal with that pain and to, you know, ensure, like, the respect for yourself that that's not going to keep happening to you, so you can set that boundary and stuff, but at the same time, not becoming, you know, like he said right there, you feed the fire that burns us all when you lie to feel the pain that spurs you on black inside. It's your decision. Like, this is some really toxic, you know, and you think that he's saying this about the guy that overdosed?
Oh, 100%.
Wow, that's
100%. Because that's how you feel.
Sometimes,
you feel
like,
when
when
you
I'm
lose somebody that way, for sure.
Sometimes when I'm reading the lyrics, I feel like this is a little too personal. Like,
Yeah.
this person really put their information, like, out there. I think we're like that too. Like, sometimes I'm like, yo, we really shot that show and said all that shit. You know what I mean? But like, you know, at the end of the day, like, when we're on this channel, we're thinking like, okay, well, we've made mistakes, we've made pitfalls. Maybe we can say something that'll help other people avoid that. Or maybe we can say something that will perhaps brighten somebody's day, give somebody a little encouragement. You know, when you say stuff like, just don't kill yourself today. Wait till tomorrow. And then when tomorrow comes, well, you know what, let's just another day until, you know, you're older and life has come and gone and you know what I'm saying? Like, just keep doing that. But like, I don't know, putting this out there, I think it's crazy because not crazy in a bad, it's crazy in an interesting way because they're obviously very hurt. And then they put out this song where they're clearly still upset about it. And like, for me, I would end up, if it was somebody that I knew and loved and I was upset that they did it, I think that I would be afraid that I would feel guilty if I put out a song that was like negative about the person. But at the same time, if you really feel it, then I don't know how to hide it and pretend it's not there doesn't necessarily help the situation, probably makes it worse. But I don't know, putting something, but the whole band went along with it. So they're probably all feeling it together. And then they shared it, although they also shared it with their fans, and the fans had to go through that whole painful experience as well. So maybe there was some of that togetherness in it. Anyway, what do you give this song?
9.7. Really good song.
This one is a 9.8 for me. Wow, the songs tonight are getting high ratings for me.
Yeah, I mean, these are heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Legendary bands. So
all right, you guys.
It makes sense.
It's not over. There is one more song.
There is un mas.
Yeah, we would leave and then enter back in the screen, but
un mas, dear listener.
we're too
Un
lazy.
mas. We shall return. Then out.
Sorry out.
Gone. One more song, dear listener. We shall return. I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinandsori@gmail.com and I'll show you the details about how to pull
You
that off.
can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord,
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
and they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vinand Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed, and a child shall lead them to buy our merch. Vinny is right there, so we are going to start this intro. This is another winner. So I'm not the only one that's going to be doing this review. We have a gentleman that's going to be joining us shortly. Okay, Anthrax and Public Enemy, Bring the Noise. The leader of the Sin&Glory group is Revo. This is another winner of the free-for-all. This completing the free-for-all songs. This is a collaboration by thrash metal group Anthrax and hip-hop group Public Enemy. This was brought forth by Archero, whom also shares the story behind the song. Oh. Thrash metal's Anthrax and hip-hop's Public Enemy were both from New York and started becoming popular at the same time. Scott Ian, Anthrax guitar player, became a fan of Public Enemy and considered them one of his favorite bands. So he started wearing a Public Enemy shirt on stage for Anthrax concerts. Chuck D of Public Enemy saw a picture of Scott in the shirt and contacted the Public Enemy recorded Bring the Noise, which included a line name-dropping Anthrax. Completely flattered, Anthrax decided they wanted to add a metal riff and record their own version of the song together with Public Enemy. Chuck agreed to the collaboration and the two went to record a music video and went on tour together. Oh, okay.
Wow, they went on tour.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So I'm going to have the official over here. So we'll be able to see that. And then, you pull up that other one over there.
Yep, I got it.
Cool. Okay. Wow, they went on tour together. I love the story. So thank you for that, Archero.
See, but this is the thing. Like, this is the history, because I thought Korn started that, because Korn was touring with Ice Cube, so I was like, oh, wow, like, metal and rap together, touring together.
Yeah.
Turns out, nope, that was going on since 1980 something, when those people were alive. So anyway, interesting stuff. All right, guys.
All right,
here
bring
we go.
the noise.
Bring the noise. Actually, it's all a lie because I don't have Bring the Noise downloaded.
Yeah,
so
Vin was lying.
Continue to
Vin
talk.
was lying.
Continue to talk.
As if I just read all that. Oh, okay.
Well, it's wonderful to read things,
Yes.
It's wonderful to read things.
All right, well, I'm going to pull up the lyrics.
There's the Anthrax, but we'll talk to the people. Do a temporary Ask Me Anything.
Yeah, well, by the time... Okay, ask me anything, you guys.
Soraya any question, she will answer it.
Yep,
There you
ask
go.
me anything, and I will answer your questions. Remember one time somebody asked me if you were, like, what's the most annoying thing Vin does?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how rude.
Yeah, I think you talked about the gym. Like, well, we go to the gym and he leaves his sweaty things on the ground.
Did I say that?
Something. It was something. Something you didn't like.
Yeah, but I brought up something that wasn't really that big of a thing.
Oh, I don't know. You kind of make that thing a big thing.
Yeah, but no, like, well, obviously there are things that are more like, that one's just like a toilet seat up annoying.
Annoying. I see. Well,
yeah.
you don't make it sound like that.
Well, I mean,
discussion.
Yeah, but if
I'll be like, hey, I've asked you this thing for like 19 million times, and it's pretty significant. You're like, well, I've had your sweaty shirts on the ground, so to me, I'm like, oh, those must be equivalent. Those issues that we're complaining about.
No, they're not equivalent. But I just don't like to step on a sweaty shirt when I get out of the shower. Sorry, do you secretly put mayonnaise in Vin's sandwiches? I don't, Ben, because one, Vin won't eat sandwiches. I could sneak one in. But I wouldn't want to do that to him because he's very picky about what he eats. And so if I slipped mayonnaise in, you would never trust me. No, I could, babe.
His mom did it one time, and I recognized it immediately.
Yeah. I mean, I never tried her cooking. I just know that I'm very good at disguising things. So I would never do something like that.
Disgusting. You've never done anything like that, have you? Don't fuck around. Seriously.
You told me not to answer that question, so I'm not going to answer that question.
I never told you not to answer
you
that
did.
Question.
Oh, yes, you did. Years ago, you said, because there was something that...
Have you or not? Don't play around. Like, have you or not?
You told me never to answer this question.
This may ruin our night.
I know, that's
so
why
just answer the question. Have you or not?
You told me not to answer that question.
Okay, I'm telling you to answer it now. Have you or not?
I have.
Okay.
Not mayonnaise. Not mayonnaise. I have not with mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise is a fucking question. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, but there are other things that you don't like.
What do you do? Put mustard in something?
Mustard has gone into something.
If you put mustard in something, I recognized it.
What was it in?
I'm not going to say.
No, you can say it. Because I'm curious.
My stepdad used to do this thing with Charles Chips.
Yeah?
I don't know if you've heard of Charles Chips.
No.
And they had a mustard thing, and it was like, yeah, that's fine. I think I have like a principle against mustard. I'm not like completely against mustard, but I'm completely against mayo.
Yeah, no, I didn't put mayonnaise in any of your stuff.
All right, well, we're good. All right, now that we've cleared that up, guys.
Babe, don't look at the comment section so I can tell them what. No, if I tell you guys, you'll tell him. Forget about it.
Anthrax,
you can't be trusted.
Featuring Public Enemy.
What an interesting intro. Let's go.
What's the name of the song?
Bring the noise.
Bring
the noise.
The noise. Bring the noise. Oh gosh. MJ's here. She's winking at you, giving you a bad example. All right, guys, here we go. Yeah, robotic, yeah. That's been a running conversation in our relationship.
No, you told me not to answer that question.
Oh, he's talking about how you gaslight me all the time. There you go. Whoa.
Whoa, that was... What happened? I didn't move. Don't say anything.
You literally pressed the button.
I literally moved nothing. I haven't even hit play on the video. Wait, can you pause for a second? Because I actually have to... We're going to have to play this video. Where did it go? Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Bring the noise, Public Enemy. This is going to be a hell of a editing job.
How low can you go? Death row? What a brother know. Once again, back is the incredible rhyme animal, the uncannibal D. Public Enemy #1. 5 volts said freeze, and I got numb. Can I tell him never had a gun? But it's the wax that the Terminator X1. Got me in a cell, cause my records they sell. Cause a brother like me said, well, Farrakhan's a prophet.
Yes, sir!
You see Farrakhan?
Yes, sir!
What I want to do is follow for now. How will the people say? Make a miracle. D. I'm the lyrical. Black is back all in. We're gonna win. Check it out. Yeah, yo, come on. Here we go again. Turn it up. Bring the noise. Turn it up. Bring the noise.
A lot of fucking energy.
Never mad at him back cause the brother is madder than mad at the fact is corrupt like a senator. Soul on the road but you treat it like soap on a rope cause the beats and the lines are so dope. Listen for lessons I'm saying it's our music that the critics are blasting me for. They'll never care for the brothers and sisters why across the country has us up for the war. We got to give them straight. Come on now, they're gonna have to wait till we get it right. Radio stations I question their blackness, they call us a black, but we'll see if they'll play this. Turn it up! Bring the noise!
Bars! Bars!
Bring bars!
Who's that guy with the clock?
Get from in front of me. The crowd runs to me. My DJ is warm. He shakes. I call him Norm. You know, he can cut a record from side to side. So with the ride, the glide, some people safer than a suicide. Soul control, beat is the father of your rock and roll. Music for what the for which and you call a band, man. Making the music, I'm music, but you can't do it. You know, you call them demos. But we ride limos too. What you gotta do? Rap is not a Time for me to exit, terminate
Oh, he's really rapping. Okay. What's the lead singer's name on that band? Ignorant. Stop it.
What is happening in this song? Oh my gosh.
He's like a kazoo.
I think so.
From coast to coast, I used to feel like a comatose. Stand my man, the beats the same when I post those. Rock with some pizzazz, it will last, YOS. Roll with the rock star, you never get accepted as. We got to plead the fifth, we can't investigate. Don't need to wait, get the record straight. Hey, Monty in effect, got flavor, Terminator. Exercise checks, play to get paid. We got to check it out, that on the avenue. A magazine or two is dissing me and dissing you. Yeah, I'm telling you. Yo, I got like this. Woo!
Oh shit, that's where the sample came from? I grew up hearing that sample.
Really?
Wicked, yeah.
Hear the drummer get wicked.
Whoa!
All right.
What year is that?
Ah, shoot, I don't know.
Yeah, stay right there. 91. This man said Farrakhan. To say Farrakhan was a prophet in 91, that would have got you in some serious trouble, bro. Because that man was not playing in the... He said, a white man is the devil. He cannot be reformed. And he would, he'd straighten his suit.
Yeah.
Cannot be reformed. Take it or leave it alone, brother.
Take it or leave it alone. See, that's the thing. I do appreciate that energy.
There's nobody he's the Don. He's the Godfather. I'd call him my father if it wasn't disrespectful to my father. But I love that dude.
Real talk. Have you ever met a boring black person? It really doesn't happen.
I met a lot of boring black people. What you
Really?
want? Yeah.
I've never met a boring. Never.
You haven't lived around a bunch of black people.
Well, not that
and you
I've
fetishized all of them because they're all minorities
Fetishized.
around here. It's like, oh, black guy, yeah, you and your black guys, blah 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 blah.
No, I never said something like that.
You
I never said
told
something
me
like
that you have family
like
members. You told me.
Oh
that
yeah,
you have...
no. I'm saying for myself. Like you were revolutionary for me. I'm definitely
It's
all
not
about
revolutionary. You just said that they weren't safe. You thought black dudes weren't safe. I didn't revolutionize shit. You were still fetishizing them. That's still part of it.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's part of it. Oh, the dangerous Negro. The strange savage.
Well, maybe you're right. It's very possible.
Revo's like, I met plenty of boring black people. Hell yeah.
You're probably right. I've just met so many boring white
people
people
all over
that
the world,
yeah. Well, it's just that you guys generally have like more like energy that you put out when you're discussing things or saying things, so it's more interesting.
Shit is yeah. Again, you come from a very, 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 very.
I mean, who needs to do this when you saying that?
Oh, he's straightening.
But
his
see
suit.
what I'm saying, like
because he was in his shit. So
yeah,
like,
that's what I'm
it
saying.
Can't
There's
be
some
reformed.
extra. Yeah, it cannot be reformed.
Can't be reformed.
Like just the extra, you know.
He's like, take it or leave it alone.
Take it or leave it alone. I like it. All right.
Yeah, in the early '90s, everybody was name dropping Farrakhan. You know,
Really?
Biggie. Oh yeah, deeper than the mind of Farrakhan, a motherfucking rap phenomenon. Hey,
I
everybody.
know another guy that did a song with Farrakhan in it.
Yeah. Oh, I got a couple of my shit has Farrakhan.
That's what I'm talking
Anytime
about.
one of them cops kill us, I pull that shit out. That song I will never release to the public.
Yeah.
I'll probably never release to the public because people are like, oh, you're telling people to go kill police, blah blah blah. So I'll never release that one to the public. But yeah, shit. Yeah, like in the early '90s, man, like there was sort of like a semi-Pan-African little revival. We had this thing called Cross Colors. It was like it was but it was in the style of a dashiki. So like the colors were like mismatched.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
So there's a lot of like being proud to be black and do for self, and everybody was like handing out like the literature Farrakhan. A lot of people don't understand like a lot of the shit that Farrakhan was saying. His whole shtick was, look, they're not gonna change. So we need to change. You need to start educating your own kids. You need to start growing your own food. You need to start opening up your own business. You need to start doing all this shit so you're not dependent on these people. Mm-hmm. So that was ultimately the message. And you know, at the time, you know, we just got out of the Reagan era, whatever. And so, you know, the Reagan era and the 80s and what that did to the black community. When Farrakhan, you know, we had no leader at that point. You know, the government had already killed MLK. The government had already killed Malcolm.
Why haven't they
they've
eliminated
tried.
him?
They've tried, but his security procedures are pretty top.
Really? That's what it is?
Oh, yeah. You can't, like, when you assassinate somebody, you don't just have to, you don't get to just roll up and shoot them. Like, for example, like an Epstein-type guy, you can kind of get away with what they did when everybody knows it was the government. Mm-hmm. But if you have a public figure, you have the threat of a massive riot happening. And you got to understand, when they killed MLK was saying peace, 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 peace. Pacifism, pacifism, pacifism. But even after he got killed, there was a riot known as the Holy Week Uprising for about 6 or 7 days where property was destroyed and all that shit. But your man Johnson signed the Equal Housing Act, though, after that. So if they would,
which means that black people would get equal you couldn't be discriminated.
Yeah, the whole redlining thing where we were pouring taxes into the system and then they were taking it and giving it to white people and putting us in the ghettos, that type of shit. So King had to die, and then a riot had to happen. More people had to die, and millions of dollars had to be spent for people
for getting something so basic.
Right. So like,
wow.
So they got rid of Malcolm, they got rid of Martin, and then, you know, 80s happened. Our community was ravaged by by crack. It's not being handled the way fentanyl is being handled today.
Right.
Fentanyl is being handled today as a mental health crisis, a crisis. We need to help these people. Crack, we were completely demonized. And so then you had people like Jesse Jackson, but Jesse Jackson had already sold out by the 90s. So Farrakhan was the only one that was not afraid. He wasn't afraid of white. He wasn't afraid of he didn't care. And he'd say, y'all better not kill me. A lot of y'all gonna die if you end up killing me. I mean, he said it out in public. He said, listen, if you come and you try to spy on us and you're the agent of the government, he said, we catch you, we'll kill you. He said that shit.
Oh my gosh, I forgot he said that.
I showed you that one. My brother was like, yo.
You did, because I thought something was going to happen. And nothing happened. I was like, wow. Okay.
Well, no, stuff happened.
What do you mean stuff happened?
But like my brother, like, who's in law enforcement.
Well, I thought that he was going to be like eliminated after he said something like that. Like, I did not think that he was going to get to.
Those guys are legit dangerous. Like, there's a whole conspiracy.
They took that seriously.
There's a whole conspiracy theory that he was behind killing Biggie. Like, it was a Nation of Islam dude that killed Big. So, like, people don't understand. I mean, I know a little bit, like, because I was, you know, whatever. But, like, there's a real rough. He kind of. Who's that guy from Better Call Saul? The chicken guy.
I can't remember.
Yeah, he's got Gus. He's got that.
Gus?
Yeah, Farrakhan has that kind of energy. He has like an outward persona, but like the machinations of what they did, they ran that shit like they ran rule. I mean, yeah, man. So anyway, that was the point of that Farrakhan reference. Like it was just a very, very important person for us at the time.
Yeah.
And so Public Enemy and all those guys were bringing that to the community. They were mainstreaming Farrakhanian thought at that point. That was one of the big things Public Enemy did. And that's one of the reasons they were called Public Enemy, because obviously the power structure in America does not want a voice like Farrakhan, out there.
Absolutely.
So anyway,
Absolutely.
shout out to the brother, Mr. Farrakhan. But damn, first of all,
pass me the charger.
You don't need it. It's the last song.
Yeah, I just didn't want these to go away. The lyrics.
Yeah, I got the lyrics right here. I was surprised though that the Scott Ian is the guy's name. The dude was rapping, bro. He had bars.
Yep, he was.
He had absolute bars in that shit. So shout out to Scott Ian, I think the guy's name is.
Yeah.
But he could actually, he was
going.
Fred Durst did a song with Method Man. I think we covered it. And it, who could be the boss? Look up to the cross, stranded in the land of the lost. Like, it was like Scooby-Doo shit. Like this guy's rhyme, the white dude, his rhyme scheme and the way that he did it, like his shit was like legit. Like, I could tell who was listening to rap for a long time. Because when they start rapping, they're not like, it doesn't matter, red, yellow, black, it doesn't matter. But like, I know when a person just started rapping but has been listening to rap for a very long time versus a person who's just doing it as a gimmick. So shout out to Fred Durst, but honestly, like the way that this dude is rapping, like this is actually his rhyme scheme. Honestly, like I'm getting a little bit technical here. This Scott Ian dude, his rhyme scheme was almost ahead of 1991. His rhyme scheme was like a 96 type rap, and it sounds like they're very close together, but that's like generations in hip hop. So especially when you compare the
that sounds like it would be
early
generations
90s to the mid 90s is almost a different kind of hip hop. His lyricism and the way that he delivered the way that he delivered it was like before its time. Like it was like legit. You could tell this dude's been listening to rap for a while. Like no disrespect to Fred Durst or whatever, but like there's a difference. The other thing too is like I saw some Slipknot influence like in Spit It Out. I'm like, oh, okay, that's where that came from, because there were some moments in the song where it was like, oh, I was remembering, Slipknot and Spit It Out. Like if you listen to this and Spit It Out, like they don't sound the same, but you're gonna catch certain things where it's like, oh, okay, like Corey was jumping on the Scott Ian thing, which makes a lot of sense, because I think Anthrax. Let me know, guys, in the comments. I think Anthrax was part of the Big Four. I'm not sure. So really, really, really badass song. Really, really good song. Love the lyricism. I wish you guys could have seen the video. The energy in the video was crazy. I'm shocked that Korn did not take these guys on tour. Like, that would have been such a badass tour. Korn with Anthrax and Public Enemy and Ice Cube at a Family Values.
Oh yeah.
Family Values. It was like all the best new metal bands. So you had Korn, Limp, Cold Chamber, all these bands would come to Korn's thing, and then you had rappers. You had Dub C, all the West Coast Crip rappers was coming along, and they made Korn honorary Crips, all types of shit.
That's cute.
I'm serious. Like at one point, like their website was called Butt Sex Crips. That was Korn's like off label thing, and Jonathan was all like, in his shit or whatever. But yeah, man, I like the video because there's a lot of like togetherness in the video.
There was. I totally agree.
But there's a lot of energy, a lot of rock in the video too. Like it was a full-orbed experience. Really, really good song. This is probably the best rap metal song I've got to think. Ice Cube did a song called Fuck Dying that Head and Monkey guested on, but the metal part wasn't really, it could have been there or not there. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like this song is probably the best rap metal song I've ever heard, which is pretty crazy considering I came up in nu metal. Like I came up in nu metal, which was like the rap metal thing. I thought they invented that. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But I do think this is the best rap metal song I've ever heard. I'm trying to think. Spit It Out is a pretty good rap metal song. No, I think this one's better than Spit It Out, actually, though.
Why?
Well, Chuck D's on there, so lyrically it's obviously going to be better than what Corey had. But even the Anthrax dude, like, he can rap, dude. Like, he can that dude is legitimately better than probably 80% of the rappers out today. So yeah, I'll say this one is, I say this one is the best one, because lyrically they had it, and sonically, this is just a heavy song anyway. If you did not rap over this, this is still a heavy song. The riff work was crazy, unbelievable stuff. This song is a 10 for me.
What? Okay.
This song is a 10 for me.
So
I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Oh yeah, Rage Against the Machine. Yeah. But they weren't. Yeah. I still say this is probably the best rap metal song I've heard.
Okay, I can't speak to the rap side of it, like as far as like lyrically how tight that the rhyme scheme was and stuff like that. Like I'm gonna
Later 7.
I'm gonna hear what you're saying and just go with that because you know a lot more about that than I do. So yeah, I guess that would be really badass, I'm sure. But I did not think that they went together well. Like the sound itself, I thought it was odd. I felt like it didn't really go together. And the only part that I was like, oh, okay, I could vibe with was when we got to the very end from Coast to Coast, You Can Stop Being Like a Comatose. That part, when he went into that part, I felt like that like felt a little more natural. But at the same time, like, because we had the visuals and I could see them working together, like, I felt like it sounded disjointed, but visually what you could see, how they were trying to like do it, and they looked like they were enjoying each other, that they wanted to do that, and also like just like the story behind it, how they kind of like came to doing this together and stuff and all that. I think that's really cool, but I just didn't think it really fit very well. So for me, I wasn't like
How
a big
dare
fan
you?
of this. Yeah, I didn't think it was. Yeah. And was this a different like style of rap? Like, okay, so
Well, it was early 90s, so it's not going to be...
I like aggressive sounding rap. This one to me sounded more like kind of like poppy, clappy, like.
What?
Yeah,
Guys
I didn't
talking
feel
about
like
Farrakhan, all types
Nope,
of shit?
I said
It was very
lyrically. I'm
aggressive.
not speaking about the lyrics because I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about how it sounded and how I experienced the song. So I didn't really. This is a 5.5 for me, and you gave it a 10. So
Excellent.
you thought the whole song
You
flowed
gave
really
this a
well.
5.5. I'm not even gonna talk about it. I'm not even gonna comment on your 5.5 rating.
But
of
can
the
you
song.
just say like you?
I'm not
I
saying.
need to
I'm
hear
not
you say.
saying anything.
Did you think it flowed?
What do you mean? Did I think it flowed? I just got done. Rap metal song I've ever heard. How could I?
Well, you could be talking about the lyrics. You
I
could
was.
be talking about
I
that.
was saying. Well, that Scott Ian guy.
But
he can rap.
the way that the two bands work together, you liked the sound of that.
It was perfect.
Flawless to you.
It was flawless.
A 10.
It's flawless.
Okay, well, you know.
This is the new I Am the Walrus.
But you know what? How
well,
come
the I
we
Am
can't
the
trust you?
Walrus, The
You
I
don't
Am
like
the
mayonnaise.
Walrus has Goo Goo Gachoob in it.
Yeah, come on.
You know what I'm saying? Like
That's ridiculous.
This one has 3 legit solid verses, public commentary. It was perfect.
No, I said I wasn't speaking to that. Like, if I added in, you know, like what it was singing about, I'm sure that if you broke down all this stuff for me, I'd be like, wow, that was really crazy. Because anytime you say something's crazy, and I look at it, I'm like, yeah, that is crazy. That's cool. So, you know, probably, maybe it would have been, you know, closer to a 9 if I, you know, understood all the... But, you know, I didn't, and I didn't really think it flowed that well, and I just wasn't really a fan of it. It's a 5.5 for me.
All right. It's a 10. Visibly annoyed. It's a 10. Thank you very much, guys. We really, really appreciate it. You guys were awesome today. We will be back, I think, tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. We may have an appointment. We will be back. Same bad time, same bad challenge, inshallah.
We'll see.
Shout out to the big homies in the Sin&Glory Alliance. Thanks for the patience. You came back. They're rebooted. They are ready to go. This is going to be wonderful and very, very excited. Shout out to Sin&Glory. Your alliance is looking pretty sweet today, dear listener.
I just want them to have my meme to leave on this one. There you go. Don't put yourself in these situations. Put that
Okay. There you go, guys.
if you can see it.
There you go.
Sing it.
Okay, so
monkey size.
Soraya wanted you guys to see this meme.
Somebody
and
posted that. I thought it was kind of funny. So there you go.
Speaking of red flags, if you are feeding your kid formula and the kid keeps spitting it up, throwing it up, crying, upset stomach, all that jazz,
what you need right here.
it's probably because you're feeding them American formula, which hasn't been significantly updated since before we were born. That's correct,
for real.
1980. Our formula, Fuji Bear formula, is supplied in Europe. You guys know the European Union has extremely high standards, and our supplier is actually in Germany, which has actually highest standards in the European Union. We fed it to our child. He loved it. The poops came out wonderful. It was an excellent situation. And so we have decided that we're just going to sell this and let other people have it too. Amazon.com. All you have to do is type Fuji in the search and you will find it.
Food G-I-E. That's
Food,
how it's spelled.
Foodgie. Foodgie. If you purchase one, send us the receipt, email vinandsori@gmail.com, and you will be able to see something really cool, I think. Having said that, dear listener, been out.
Sorry out.
Gone.